Oiler Insider, and Jersey Aficionado.
Fajardo flips this one out. Rankin trying to get there on second in a couple. He'll get it all. Touchdown, Justin Rankin. His second of the ballgame.
60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream.
To a Mbappe! Simply irrepressible. He insists on his moment. 20 World Cup goals for Kylian Mbappe. And it's another beauty.
It's all gas, no brakes.
Just a few weeks ago, making room for McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who watches on as Cody Fajardo pitches this one to Justin Rankin. And he couldn't, could he? Oh, you know he will. Touchdown Rankin, unstoppable.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Yes, indeed. It's finally here. Friday. Let's make it a good one together. The first week of the Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365, on the verge of completing its first full week. Hope you're doing well out there. Tom Gazzola, Eddie Steele, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you for what should be another fun one. Thanks for being along for the ride. Hope you've enjoyed the show so far. I know I certainly have, and we're settling in. Of course, Bet365, presenting sponsor of the Tom Gazzola Show. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta and here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Big thank you to Bet365 for hopping on board. Fantastic show for you on the way. As always, big thank you to Brandon for setting that up. Eddie Steele's back, baby. Good to see you, Eddie.
Tommy G, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but in a good way. Like the energy's still going to be there, I think.
Oh, for sure.
You know how well you played for a long time, and you've covered the Elks, and you know the routine of a game night, and when you're part of a broadcast, and there's that high,
and then the come down,
and then and you just can't drop down to calm, cool, ready for bed. It's a steady process on the downswing, right?
It's your game day too, right? It's
Good point.
It's like the players. You got to get up, you got to get right. And I'll tell you what, after a game, there's no just going to sleep.
Nope.
You know, you probably had to get a little bit of nutrition in you at the end of the night. And
I had water.
That's it.
That's it. Usually I would have a beer, but not yesterday.
That's how you stay looking the way you look.
I try.
Fresh. But the reality is, Tommy, we are so pleased to have you this morning.
Thanks.
Because it could have been catastrophic for you last night. If you know, you almost got taken out.
Died last night. I almost died. If you didn't watch the game, the Elks won. They played really solid. I'll give the Red Blacks credit. They hung in there going into the half and everything, and in the third quarter, tons of possession. But Cordell Jackson pushes Justin Hardy where I'm going, because you can see it happening. You're like, okay, ball's coming here. I think it's going that way. I'm going that way. No, I have to go the other way. And I just ducked it.
Oh man, that was a close one. And then with that push, you're right. That extra mo just gives him that all that extra momentum coming at you, and then boom, it comes quick.
Yeah,
you're lucky, man. I've seen coaches actually like the ACL's gone. Like if you're not paying attention on the side, because coaches have their back to the play, they're coaching you on the bench usually. And I've seen guys literally have their knees taken out by players coming onto the sideline. It's crazy how fast it can come.
Those are finely tuned athletes, and the speed, like you said, Eddie, and we're saying it off the air as we're getting ready for the show. Whoever, dumps on the CFL and whatnot and doesn't think that these guys are at the top creme de la creme, speed-wise, physicality-wise. You can make the argument with the NFL all you want, but they are like peak.
They really are. You've heard it from so many guys. Chad Ochocinco, Ricky Williams, who's played here. There's so many big names that have played, and I've played against so many guys who went to big-time NCAA programs, the USCs, the UCLAs. In the NFL, you have the one-of-ones, the Patrick Mahomes, when he's on top of his game, the Tyreek Hills, all the best of the best. They're the household names. But after that, football is football.
Yep.
And guys in the CFL can absolutely translate into the NFL, vice versa. So you're right. It's the best out there in the world, man. I wanted to talk about this Double E win, though, Tommy G.
We have to.
Because, boy, that was an impressive win all around via the offense, via the defense.
Yep.
That was probably one of the best Double E wins we've seen under this regime.
Great bounce back, too, Eddie, on a short week. How tough is that when you only have a few days to prep?
Oh, physically, you're running on fumes because you've played 3 games in such a short amount of time.
Mhm.
The mental prep is always going to be there, but can you get through? Ottawa was the best opponent to do it against, and they
Touche.
did exactly what they had to do. It was flashy at points, but at the end of the day, it was a lot of just chopping wood, carrying water, grinding through the game. They blew it out late.
Yeah.
But if you recall, up through the third quarter, their defense kept holding. Ottawa had shots, but their defense would go and create turnovers. And their defense really stood up to the test, I think, against that Ottawa.
4 interceptions.
Mm.
2 from Cordell Jackson, who almost killed yours truly. He messaged me. He said, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "It's all good. I don't."
Cordell, man, he plays fast too.
And he's
He
not the
hits
biggest guy.
everything. No, he's not, but he hits everything. Because when you stand next to Cordell, he's probably about your height, eh?
No, he's like 3 or 4 inches shorter.
Man,
Yeah.
but he's out there like a crazed dog trying to hit everything. And then Tyrell
right in there.
Ford, too, showing up with the hands.
Yep.
Finally, it needs to be done. So we're seeing the big and Robbie Smith. I got to say, shout out to Robbie Smith. First sack as a Double E member. And he's making a handsome penny. So it's nice to see him show up on the board.
Canadian guy, too. You want your nationals, especially if they're getting paid that well, to put up good numbers and obviously have an impact. And he's doing that. I know last year was a tough year for him. He had that elbow injury as well. That kind of derailed things a bit.
10 games played only.
Yeah. Little secret. We were talking to Mike Arcuri going into the half, and we're like, who should we get for halftime? I'm like, I'm good with someone on defense because they're holding Ottawa really well. And I know it's the Red Blacks, but listen, there's some weapons on that team offensively, and they're trying to figure things out with Dinwiddie there now. But we came up with, let's get Robbie Smith. And then the truck's like, well, how about Justin Rankin? And then I told Mike Archer, like, they won't rank. And he's always great. He had a great game too.
He did.
And I see Rank talking to Mike Archer. He's like, man, yes. And he comes up. I'm like, Rank, I didn't ask
Not
for
me.
you.
It's not
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, but you're that good. You need to talk to the people.
He's MOP right now.
He is. And honestly, Eddie, as annoyed as he was, he gave a great halftime interview.
He did.
So I got to appreciate that.
I caught a little bit of it at home.
Yeah. We also talked to Niles Morgan, and I got the name of his podcast jumbled up. So I want to correct myself. It's the Next Level Method, not the Next Method Level. And
Okay.
I had a chat with Niles before. So him and Noah Curtis, they did the first episode together. Niles wanted to do this podcast on like how to become a pro, the trials and tribulations of signing with the team, being cut a few days later, like he was with the Chicago Bears. He went through the American Alliance Football League with a couple of teams, then ended up in Edmonton and finally, established himself as a pro. So he's like, I just want to share my experiences, give my advice to up and coming football players, people that might need advice in life. And so it just released last week, and I did a hit on it, but it was really late in the game. And my producer, Pete, was like, let's try to talk about it. I'm like, okay. And I jumbled up the name and I felt so bad. Marshall Ferguson, good teammate, corrected me though.
Marsh is a
Subtly.
good guy.
He's excellent. Yeah. So I just wanted to correct myself there, but yeah, well, a great win. And I know it was against Ottawa, but if somebody said that to you, Eddie, like you go, I know they won. That's great, but it was only against Ottawa. What would you tell them?
Hooey balooey.
Yeah.
Man, a win is a win. This is pro football. You only have 18 games. It's different than hockey where you have 82, basketball where you have 82, 84 actually, looming coming up.
Yeah, that's right.
But every week matters, right? When you're playing one game a week and anybody can win on any given Sunday, that's not just a cliche. You have to show up and bring your A game against every opponent. You can't play down to the level of your expected level of your opponent because that's when they can come and they can surprise you. And I think we saw a little bit of that even last week with BC, right? Edmonton didn't dominate the trenches, the line of scrimmage on either side of the football. BC did so and came out on top. Edmonton was quite sour all throughout this practice week. They knew that they kind of tricked that one off, let that one go, and that they were better than what they put out on film. And they came out and they did the work against Ottawa. So it was really good to see. And again, all phases of this game, it was very impressive to see in and out. And we'll break it down this morning.
Excellent. I love it. I'm looking forward to it. Brandon, you were at the game. Your impressions of what you saw?
I was at the game.
Yeah.
I was. So the opening drive, they like really methodically and kind of pieced their way down the field with some good, short passes, Rankin doing his thing and obviously finds pay dirt. And then after that, the offense kind of seemed to hit a bit of a wall for almost like 2.5 full quarters. And then it kind of like when rubber hit the road and all of a sudden we're staring down just a 2-point game in the fourth or going into the fourth, kind of like, why is this game so close? Like the defense is mostly doing their part, that one penalty filled drive really cost them, particularly the thing that kept it going with the rough and the kicker. But otherwise, like the defense was doing their part. The offense was, unspectacular, but they got the couple scores on the board. And then in the fourth, it just blew wide open. And if that was how more reflective of how the entire game had went, no, I didn't expect them to put up 120 points. But the fourth quarter, I thought, is how the whole game should have been. And like the Elks, they end up with it was a 4 picks total.
Yeah,
they could have had 7. And I thought a lot of Jake Mayer's mistakes and things were largely due to the defensive front getting in his face and creating pressure. A couple of the picks came directly as a result of taking hits or about to take a hit. And then when I have to think when you're sitting there under center and that your O-line is just getting absolutely worked all night, you're ready to take some serious contact on any single play. You're a little more tentative and ready to get that ball out sooner than you want or put it into bad spots. And as a result, it turned into a couple good picks. And credit to the DBs that finally were able to get the hands and the brain working on the same function and actually hold on to a couple balls, because we know that's plagued them a little bit so far this year.
Yeah, it's well due. They've needed those picks. Did it ever feel in doubt to either of you fellas? I know the score, you're right, Duke. It was kind of a lull, but still offensively, they moved the ball fairly well throughout the game. You don't accumulate 537 yards by being completely stagnant.
Third quarter, Ottawa seemed to have the ball, I think, just under 10 minutes, it felt like. And I'm looking at the breakdown of the drives right now in the third. So Ottawa's first possession, 441. The next one, 150. The next one, 211. That was their touchdown. And like the Elks had 408 late drive, 129 and 226. So Ottawa slight advantage there, but that was the only, like late in the second quarter going into half, but then the interception happened and the quick points that the Elks managed to get, like we were talking about, which was clutch. But then, yeah, it felt like Ottawa sort of had a glimmer of hope in that third quarter. But like you said, Eddie, earlier, like, and Brando said it, fourth quarter, Edmonton just did what they should have done, or it felt like the game was supposed to be like, and just ran away with it. To me, at least.
Yeah, and defensively, I just love what I saw throughout the game. It never truly felt in doubt to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Edmonton always was in control, because whenever it was punch, counter punch, and Edmonton always had something whenever Ottawa seemed to be kind of getting back into the game. And how about Leak? That was the emergence of Leak, and he had the big one taken off of the board too. He's obviously a great returner. We know that. I had been charting it up until this game, and going into this game, he was 3 for 3 on touches to gain first downs. So he rarely would touch the ball, but when he did, he was scatting up the sidelines for about 15 yards. And in this game, you saw the potential that this offense has. And when you have a guy that can take away some of the attention from Rank, that's just going to make it more open for Rank to go off even that much more. And you saw that.
Mm-hmm.
You saw Leak come in, take away some of that attention from Rank, and then Rank was able to open up his game that much more and go for those big, easy plays late in the game.
And guess what? If you're thinking, well, you want Rankin out there as much as possible, don't you think he's going to get upset? Nope. Those two are like really tight. So they're rooting for each other. Thunder and Lightning was the nickname they were trying to give each other, but I think that was already taken by some guys. Was it with the Chargers? I'm trying to remember, but anyway, it was good to see. It was refreshing, and then now it teased them up nicely to get another shot at BC next week and on Friday. Plus, they get a full week plus one to prep for the Lions, which is good after the short turnaround. We have an excellent show for you. As always, Rod Smith will be joining us in a few minutes. It'll be great to catch up with Rod. One of my favorites. Let's ask him why he neglects to text me back at times.
Ghost you?
He feels so bad. I'm like, why didn't you text me back? He's like, that was you, huh? I'm so sorry.
We all get ghosted sometimes.
I know, and it may as well be from like a broadcasting legend in our country. So Rod will join us coming up shortly. We have Tyler Yaremchuk in for Mark Spector. Spec is busy, and Yaremchuk stepping up. Well, he's always excellent, obviously. In or out in hour number 2. And then Eric Stevens, the Iceman, cometh himself to talk about everything that's gone on with the Anaheim Ducks. He obviously covers the LA area, so that includes the Kings, and we'll talk about how things are changing in the Pacific Division and obviously in the NHL. Gary Meyer will be by for hour number 4, and then we'll be doing golfing with the G-Man. So we have a full show. It's going to be great. Text us, join the conversation, 1-833-401-1440. Shout out to people that said hi yesterday. A lot of people saying hi, congratulations. I appreciate that so very much. So they're enjoying the show so far. Hopefully we're bringing some more people in, and good vibe here. And then the people that just chirp because they want to say hi or they just want to get a crack in, I appreciate as well.
Please do.
Yeah, please do. It's going to be a fun show, fun Friday, and we're off and running here on the Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. When we come back, Rod Smith from the CFL on TSN.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Alan Olson Auctions presents the annual Camrose Summer Consignment Auction, open right now for online bidding through July 14th at alanolsonauction.com. This huge consignment sale features a totally unreserved retirement dispersal for Jace Craft. Bid on a variety of new and unused equipment in excellent condition, including machinery, lawn and garden tools, skid steers, and attachments. Plus, trucks, construction and farm equipment, buildings, and so much more. For more info, call 780-672-2434 or visit alanolsonauction.com today.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is here. When the match is on, you call the shots. Whether it's a parlay after working all day or a straight bet and straight to bed, Betway has what it takes for you to bet the Edmonton way. So when it's your turn to play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only. 18+.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
The Tom Gazzola Show. All gas, no brakes. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
7:21 in Edmonton. Good morning. Hope you're doing well out there. It's the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. Tom Gazzola, Eddie Steele, Brendan Douglas, Josh Fenwick with you. Text us some great texts about the game last night coming in. McDavie, I see you. I'm going to float that over to Eddie in a little bit. 1-833-401-1440. And if you're watching over on YouTube, you can get into the chat over there. We're going to get to our headliner of the day. I'm so glad he is the headliner of the day. I consider this guy a broadcast legend and an even better person, Rod Smith from TSN. Of course, you can hear his voice and see him on the CFL on TSN. The headliner of the day brought to you by Mr. Rooter Plumbing, the only team you want in your corner when things get messy. For all your plumbing needs, go to mrrooter.ca. Mr. Smith, good morning. How are you, sir?
You're very kind, Tom. Thank you for the kind words. Good morning. I congratulate you on your first week, by the way, and it is good advice just to stay out of the hospital when you're in week one. If you could just wait until next week or the week after, get established a little bit.
Thanks, Rod.
Yeah. And good morning to Eddie. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Rod. Good to chat with you, man. Tom, you almost got one last night.
Oh.
Well, it was I was watching and everyone picked up on it right away when I first saw that replay. It's like, oh, Tom, go the other way. Now, did you say you got chirped by your dad?
Yes.
Close by?
Yes. So.
And what did he say?
Watch out. And he shook his head at me like I was a 5-year-old. And my mom was right beside me. So the story behind it, and listen, you only have a couple of seconds on the broadcast because the play's about to happen.
Yeah.
I have season seats to Elks games. I bought them since I was 20 years old. I've had them for 20 years. Those are my seats, but my parents go because we're working the game, right? And I swear, Rod, I jump out of the way. I'm like, oh, that was close. And I look up and all I can hear is my dad's voice. Watch out. And I turn and I look, he's right there and he's shaking his head at me. And I'm like, of course, there he is. And he looked so disappointed too. It was incredible.
That's part of parenting, right? I mean, it's amazing that every step of the way, there they are, right along with your career. So
in my seats.
And hopefully listening this morning.
And typically like a kid out there on the sports field or on the court or on the ice,
yeah.
You know exactly right where to look. You knew right where Pops was at.
It was instinct. You've covered games forever. I mean, Rod, you've been doing this a long time. And I'm sure you've had some close encounters, haven't you?
I did sidelines before. I can recall something like that. I guess the biggest difference is mine probably weren't picked up by the camera. Oh. So I know you Matthew Shinetti's had a few too. There was one where and Shinetti would tell you the story. I'm trying to remember which quarterback it was, but a ball was sailing out of bounds and it was setting, right to him. So he tried to just casually catch the ball and it went in and out of the, and right through the breadbasket and down. And so we were replaying that one over and over again too. So I was feeling bad for him. Hey, life of a sideline reporter. I mean, especially when the play's coming to you. I mean, there's no hiding. So that's part of the job, right?
I love it. I honestly love it. Yes, there's danger involved if you don't have your head on a swivel. Now, for the record, Cordell Jackson pushed Justin Hardy, and I didn't expect him to push him that way. So my instinct was bad, as Marsh and Dwayne were correct to call out. But I was able to dive out of there. And then Cordell said, I'm sorry, last night.
Well, you know what? I heard what Eddie was talking about before, and Eddie knows. I mean, down there, and it's not just obviously you can keep an eye out for what's coming. We've had actually some pretty bad injuries from camera operators, for example, who are focusing on one thing. And I saw it happen in a game. I think the Elks were involved. It was in Toronto a couple of years ago, and a player went out of bounds, and the woman who was on camera and doing a terrific job, but of course was looking at something else, and I think it was a knee injury, and thankfully she was ultimately okay, but she had to miss some time. But yeah, it's dangerous down there. You got a bunch of big men and up at a high speed and trying to get every bit of real estate they can and heading out of bounds. I'm glad you're okay, Tom. Put it that way.
Thank
glad
you,
you're
Rod.
okay.
I look forward to working with you again, and I'm glad I have my health.
Yeah, let's make sure that happens. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Rod, as week 6 got kicked off last night, I just wanted to get your thoughts, your opinion around the pulse of the league and what you're noticing, maybe some of the storylines that are now being drawn out and played out in front of our eyes.
Well, the surprisingly good, but more the surprisingly not good, Eddie, really starting with last night, I really expected more from Ottawa. I think a lot of people did. And the Elks, I knew the Elks would be better. The way they were last year, they were showing signs last year of really starting to turn the corner. It wasn't enough to make the playoffs, but you could see it coming. And it's impressive. I was in Kelowna and watched them against the Lions again. They did not win, but still showing signs along the way. A couple of the other games that I've done in Winnipeg and Edmonton against Montreal, that this is a serious team. This is a contender. The Red Blacks, I'm a little mystified because I thought, the job that Ryan Dinwiddie did, and I know it can't be done overnight, mind you. He's basically trying to rebuild a team. But I think he's a good coach, and he certainly showed that in his time in Toronto. Just last season, notwithstanding with all the injuries that they did have. So I still think, it's not looking good right now, even at this stage of the season for playoffs for Ottawa, obviously, but I still think they can marginally turn this thing around and show some signs. I mean, I'm a little mystified as to how they could start the season at 0-5, but aside from that, I mean, I think going one way and going the other, those are two big stories right there. BC start, I guess, again, injuries are a part of it, but I was a little bit surprised by that. I expected more from the Lions out of the gate, but those are the big ones right now. And the quarterback play in general, and just the importance of the quarterback we have seen so far. I mean, it's been off the charts in some ways, and you can see how devastating it can be when these star quarterbacks go down.
Yeah, speaking of quarterback play in Ottawa in particular, do you think it was the right decision? And I know they're sitting at 0-5, so it's easy to say, yeah, of course, Eddie. Do you think it was the right decision to go with Jake Meyer? And Ryan Dinwiddie continues to do so. Well, I like Jake. I know the flashes, the potential that he showed in Calgary, and ultimately, hey, it was the presence of Jake Mayer that made the Stampeders feel comfortable enough to part with Bo Levi Mitchell, which, despite Bo's injury, doesn't look like a great decision now. I mean, with his career revitalized, but I don't know if Jake has ever had those moments, those superstar moments that you've seen in other quarterbacks, say Davis Alexander, or obviously with Bo or Zach Collaros, or Nathan Rourke. And I don't think he's been at the level of Cody, to be consistently good through long stretches. But I don't know what went on with Drew Brown. You hear rumors that he wasn't happy in Ottawa, that he wanted to go back to Winnipeg, that Ryan Dinwiddie, and these are just things that you hear, that wasn't all that impressed with his training camp. And he had a connection to Mayer that goes back to his college coach. But yeah, I mean, I was surprised that they made that decision. I thought Drew Brown's biggest problem in Ottawa was availability. He just was hurt a lot, and I think that was a problem. But when he's healthy and ready to go, that was kind of a stunning training camp story for those who I guess weren't closer to the situation.
Rod Smith joining us now from the CFL on TSN. Rod, you get the Alouettes and Stamps, but before your game, there's the Bombers and the Argos, and with the Bombers, there's another situation with the quarterback, and you speak of Drew Brown and him ending up with Winnipeg. Like that game we're going to see between the Bombers and Argos. What are your thoughts on it before we dive into the Alouettes and Stamps that you're covering?
Well, be curious to see, Drew Brown worked with Tommy Condell last year in Ottawa. Brown, I think, from everything I heard, was very comfortable with Mike O'Shea's staff and working in Winnipeg. And he did, I mean, how he played backing up Zach Collaros a few years ago got him that free agent deal with the Red Blacks and a chance to be a starter. So if he finds his comfort zone back in Winnipeg, I still think he can be a good quarterback. Yeah. I mean, I do. I'll be curious to see what he can come up with tonight against an Argo team that is, one way or the other, an entertaining team to watch. their big plays. I mean, their defense was atrocious against Calgary last week. But you get Kelly coming on and just chucking it down the field. And as I say, they thrive on big plays, and yet he throws interceptions too. But I say entertaining from the standpoint that one way or the other, whether they're good or bad, they're making it interesting. And they're a threat that way. Hey, they beat the Riders in Saskatchewan. I mean, they nearly beat the Alouettes in Montreal. I mean, they are capable of winning big games. As I say, I think they got some work to do on defense because, I mean, VA was just, slashing them down the field last week in Calgary. But, I don't know what to make of that. And for Winnipeg, I mean, the way things are in the West now, Calgary is a good team. Edmonton is obviously a good team. And Saskatchewan is a good team. I mean, they were 3-1, and I think BC is going to get better. There's a lot of pressure on the Bombers, I think, to keep up in the West.
So, Rod, the game that you have Saturday evening, you have the Stamps at Al's. Oh, boy, talk about the quarterback play. This has all the potential to be a high-end shootout between Vernon Adams, Davis Alexander. Vernon coming off of a 7-touchdown outing last week. Based off your scouting, your prep, what are you excited to look for? What are you looking forward to, I guess, going into this game, covering it?
Well, Eddie and Tom knows this. I love storylines. I love me a storyline, and this game is so full of them. Going back to VA's time in Montreal, something I didn't know about that, in 2022, in the quarterback room, in 21, when VA was hurt, they traded because they needed a quarterback. They traded to get Trevor Harris from Edmonton. And Harris ended up, I think, starting the playoff game that year, and then heading into 22, there was a bit of a controversy who's number one. Well, it was VA, I think, for a game or two, and then they made the switch and they went with Trevor. And VA, I think, knew his time in Montreal was getting short. So they had this kid in the quarterback room. They also had Dominic Davis then. I think the number 4 was this kid, Davis Alexander, out of Portland State. And VA was talking to him yesterday about this. He and Harris are watching in practice this kid slinging it all over the field. And they're looking at each other like saying, like, who is this guy? They saw it even back then in 22. He had something special when initially they thought he was a camp arm. And turns out, of course, he was a lot more than that. And on his way out the door, I think he said Adams knew he was going to be gone. He was traded, I think, that August to BC. But Adams pulled him aside and said to him, be serious here and be ready, because I got a feeling at some point you're going to be the guy here. And that was, that's 4 years ago. And here they are meeting up. They're friends. They stay in touch. I mean, even though they were very briefly teammates, and they each have a Philpott to throw to now. And that's the other part of the story that, we know what Tyson can do. And Tyson's just off the charts right now. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's been doing. And Jalen is steadily getting better. And he was the one that was drafted ahead of Tyson back in 2022. But just the explosive plays, everything else. I mean, I think, Calgary is 2-2, but Calgary's 2 losses were a walk-off in their first game, and then overtime against Saskatchewan the second time around. That Stampeder team showed signs of being much, much improved last year, and I think that's going to continue. I'm really looking forward to this matchup.
That's crazy. VA, Trevor Harris, and a young Davis Alexander all on the same team, and all 3 of them great quarterbacks in this league right now, which is, I think, phenomenal. That's a great storyline, Rod. Yeah.
A cool one, actually, very much along the same vein. Back Toronto Argos, when I was playing, at one point they had Zach Caleros, Trevor Harris, Ricky Ray.
Yes.
Just a rich quarterback room, all coached by Scott Milanovic, of course.
Wow.
And the other one in that room, Eddie, Jarius Jackson was actually the 2 in 2012 when they won the Grey Cup, when they beat Calgary. You're right. Oh, we've talked about that too. That and the coaching staff alone with Milanovic under, the Jim Barker tree, and Milanovic had been under Mark Trestman, and then Milanovic's staff in 2012 had Jason Moss, Mike O'Shea, Chris Jones. Jarius was playing then, but later went into coaching shortly after that. I'm trying to think if I'm missing another name, but I mean, it was, I love looking back at stuff like that. But you're right, that QB room, we've talked about that and how much Trevor and Zach especially learned from Ricky Ray.
It's incredible when you look back at stuff like that, and then how guys branch out. That's fantastic. I forgot about that, Eddie. Honestly, I really did.
Yeah, there's some good rooms, man.
Okay, let's wrap the segment up with this. You're in Montreal, Rod, one of my favorite road cities. I loved it every time I had a chance to cover a game there. Where's your go-to spot? Because I know you've been able to travel around our fine country and enjoy some of the food and the hospitality. But when you go to Montreal, do you have a spot?
Oh, old Montreal. Oh, forgive me. Not Natuka. There's a barbecue place in Old Montreal. Dwayne Ford and I went with, and if you're going to eat barbecue, you hang out with Dwayne Ford.
Yes.
I heard he can put the plates down, Rod.
You get him and Mike Benavides together. I mean, I'm bigger than both of them, but I sit down, but I can't keep up. No, Dwayne's a machine. There's like a place called Fat Boys in the market in Ottawa that we would frequent, but I just wish I could remember the name. It's in Old Montreal, but there's a good barbecue spot there. But that's probably where we end up anyway, usually.
It's so good in Montreal. And I had dinner with Dwayne last night at the stadium. It was a modest portion for your information.
A modest portion for who?
For normal,
you?
Or no, for a huge man. That's what
It's just a pregame. A light pregame.
For
Light
anyone else,
pregame.
it was, else, double portion.
Yeah, you don't. Dwayne's serious. You get, he can be picky. He doesn't eat hot dogs. He's very fussy about certain foods, but when it comes to red meat, sitting down, then it's serious business then.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Rod, awesome to have you on. Thank you so much. Have a great call in Montreal, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Tom. Eddie, thank you, and congrats again, Tom, and stay healthy.
Oh, I'll try. Thank you, Rod. There you go. Rod Smith, our headliner of the day, brought to you by Mr. Rooter, knocking your plumbing's problems out of the park. That's mrrooter.ca. I love Rod Smith. Honestly, he is the best guy.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
He is.
He really is.
Just a pro's pro, man. That you've been around the league a long time. You know broadcasters, and we're fortunate to have great ones. And then you meet other ones, and you're like, oh, I wonder what their deal is. But we're blessed to have some amazing ones, and he's
very genuine.
Yeah. He's right at the tip there. Eddie, we have a bunch of questions that have come in regard to last night's game. I see one from McDavid that I want to get to. We have to step out for a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to some text, some discussion about the game. Yes, there will be hockey talk. Tyler Ramchuk coming up at 8 a.m., filling in for Spec. We're going to cruise along here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at ProSolutionsInc.ca.
Canada's men's rugby team at Clark Stadium, July 11th. Don't miss an international doubleheader as Canada takes on Portugal and Tonga battles Spain. Build the home field advantage for Team Canada. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
Early mornings just got louder. For the hottest takes and the sports stories that actually matter to Edmonton, you need Tom Gazzola. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440 at 833-401-1440.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV with a question. Are you camp ready? Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. You might think from talking to you on the radio or my online videos that I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but you'll notice the real work is being done by my maintenance team, the same team that looks after your RV when you become Camp Ready.
Camp Ready is a custom scheduled maintenance plan for your used RV.
That's right, Bob. For one predictable monthly fee, your fall winterization is handled, spring startup is on your schedule, roof assessments twice a year, and if something goes wrong during the summer season, guess who goes to the front of the line? That's right, people like you who are Camp Ready.
You're expanding Camp Ready memberships now, right, Rick?
Bingo, Bob. We're accepting 100 new members. We have to keep it limited due to the capacity of our team, so we know we can serve you dependably. Ask about Camp Ready next time you see us.
And that's Noble.
NobleRV.ca.
The Tom Gazzola Show. 60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
.43, we continue on here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. Tom, Eddie, Brandon, Josh with you. Join the conversation. Also, Playlist Friday. I know that was something that happened on this show before. I'm all for keeping it going. You just put in a request, Eddie.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I love it.
840 slot.
840 slot. Okay, if anybody has a request, send it in. And Brandon, a.k.a. The Duke, will
and Tom, you need to, I know you're very busy, hosting the show, but you got to put some thought in the last slot of the show, sending the show off into the weekend. That's yours.
I can do that.
Yeah, it's your spot.
Oh.
And in the past iterations, it was the same every week. Kevin's was a little bit south of Saskatoon. It was from Slapshot. If you're familiar or recall,
great jingle.
It's a great. It was awesome. So listen, if you want to pick a new one every week, there's no rules against that.
Okay.
That's what Eddie does. He picks a fresh one every week. That one we just heard, that's mine every week.
Love it.
It's Only Love with Bryan Adams and Tina Turner. I have the same one every Friday.
What a match.
So 1040, it's yours. It's all yours. Whatever you want.
Okay.
No
Here
holds barred.
on the Tom Gazzola Show.
Oh,
It's the Tom,
yeah.
it's the Tom Gazzola
Your show,
Right.
baby.
Wow. It's our show. That's how I look at it.
A good team here.
It's a good team. It's been a fun first week. Vibes are high. So, okay, I'll think of a song. I like it. And we were talking about the lead singer of the Killers, Brandon Flowers. He's got a country album. So I was thinking the country motif, and maybe I'd mix that in there and be like, I'm open to country music. But if it's up to me 100%, I'll come up with something. Hopefully it's a toe tapper.
Get him going.
Get them going. It's Friday. Send everybody off into the weekend on the right foot. That's the best. Okay. I did mention in the last segment that there are some questions in regard to the game and the team from last night. And this one, I flagged it from McDavie. I like it. And Eddie, you're best suited to answer this one. And McDavie texted in and said, hey guys, I was wondering what your thoughts on Malik Carney and how he's been doing for the Double E. I was really looking forward to getting him, but he just hasn't made the impact I was hoping for. He has yet to get a sack all year. That's from McDavie. What do you say, Eddie?
Yeah, definitely hasn't been as impactful as you'd hoped he would be. You think that you acquire a guy like that, especially with the price tag, that going to come in and be an instant sack guy. If you look at Malik Carney's career numbers, though, I believe off the top of my mind, he has a career high of 8 sacks. So he's never been a guy who's going out there like a Charleston Hughes who's expected to go and get double-digit sacks. That's not who he is. He's a hustle player. He's an energy guy. He's going to always be, his motor's going to be running high, and he's a good locker room player as well. Now, that only can take you so far because, Robbie Smith, who we talked about earlier in the program, had his first sack.
Yep.
We've heard these things about him too. He's a hustle player and high energy, great in the locker room. That's all well and dandy. But at the end of the day, when all the dust has settled, you still need to produce, right? This is still pro football.
Mhm.
And when you're making, in any pro sport, when you're making a high dollar, really, there's going to be some production that is required to come with that. And thus far, the production hasn't come. But with all of that being said, Tommy, you're still sitting at 4-1, and there's no glaring issues with this player, right? So I think the defense is humming along. I was raving about the defense and how well and sturdy they played throughout the game. So there's no real cause for concern. You would hope that the sack numbers would be higher, but hey, when you're winning and you're 4-1 and you have a strong, stout defense, you look at how they played the run yesterday, and they are starting to affect the passer a bit more game by game.
Mhm.
We're starting to feel them more. I think everything is all in well right now.
With Malik Carney, and I floated it to you during the break, and you're like, just let's save it for the segment. The talk around him the first couple of weeks was you can see his impact because how much attention he gets from the offensive line, and then it opens the door for some others to maybe get in there. And you're like, yeah, but right, Eddie?
Yeah, absolutely. That it is helpful for sure, but you have to produce because that will only go so far. At a certain point, you're not going to get the attention if you're not doing anything, right? Willie J, for example, Willie Jefferson is going to get the attention in the eyes, but if Willie Jefferson starts having a couple of down series, well, they're not going to be as worried about him, and they'll put the focus somewhere else. And then when that is the case, that's typically when a guy is slippery and can make a big move and a big play. But Malik Carney, you're not feeling it right now. And that's what I continuously go back to with the defensive line. It's not about the numbers. Yes, you selfishly want to have the sacks and you want to have the tackle for losses and all that fun stuff because you do get paid off of those fun highlight plays. But you got to feel their presence. And you're just not feeling the defensive line as much as you would like. And look, I have a high standard for the position now. I'm not saying I was the world's best player, but I played on some hella great defensive lines.
Yep.
And if you look at our sack numbers, we put up numbers across the board. Defensive tackles, defensive ends across the board. So I do have high standards for the position. So when I'm seeing guys getting paid what they're getting paid, not putting up the numbers, and again, it's not about the numbers, you're still winning, but the numbers do need to come if you are putting out the performance that goes along with winning, right? And if you want to be an impactful defensive line, the numbers should follow you. So again, 4-1, you're happy with that. But there is still meat on that bone for this defensive line.
We'll see if next week, if he pops off a little bit, that would be great timing. And then the other thing I'd follow up with too is getting used to a new team, new coaches, all that. How much is enough buffer time in your opinion? Because it's only been 5 games, 2 short weeks as well.
Yeah, you're right in a sense, but that's one position where you don't really, the coaching and all that doesn't matter as much. It's not even like a defensive back where you're relying on the communication and the feel with your brethren out there. Man, a defensive lineman, it's you against the guy across from you. You're putting the hand in the dirt and you're going 100 miles an hour. So there's only so much coaching can take you. There's some communication when you got to be working on your stunts and twist games. But for the most part, you're not doing those types of games and twists. So it's one-on-one battles, and you got to go out there and win those battles. And I key on these guys. I'm watching these players all the time, and just not enough wins. You're getting pressure, but you're not winning. You're not finishing your play. And the pressures that you're getting, they're not even clean. You're walking offensive linemen back, but they're still engaged on you. You got to get off of these guys.
Okay. See, you're the perfect guy to ask, and I'm glad that McDavie sent that text. And he follows up with, for sure, think his presence is definitely felt out there on the field, and that's helpful. Would just like to see more production. Thanks, guys. McDavie, thanks for the question. I appreciate that. Matt and Leduc, in regard to Carney, says he'll really come into his own once K-Days starts. See what you did there.
I like it.
I like it, too. On the offensive line, Dave Beard goes down. He was in a walking boot yesterday on his left leg. That happened early. I know Mark Cordy had to step in at center. Noah Curtis had to come in, and they got the job done. But now you got Coulter Woodmansey, who's on the 6th game. I talked to Coulter a little bit yesterday. Dave Beard goes down. Curtis gets nicked
And
up.
Beardo was in a boot, huh?
He was in a boot. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's tough.
so Cody Fajardo gave the O-line a lot of praise last night post-game because they held up. How concerning is it at this point in the season to see big dogs like that going down?
Oh, that's tough. That's 2 starters on
Yeah.
what was supposed to be expected to be one of the best O-lines in the league. Man, having Mark Corti here and having not cut him, because there was talks around, and even I was saying, just because of salary, not because of the player, but the
Canadian.
salary at making what you're making to be the 6th O lineman going into the season. That's an expensive penny. With the cap going up, though, you are afforded the ability to have higher salaries and to carry these roster players. So having him as an insurance policy has turned out to be one of the best things for this entire O-line unit, because he has filled in when Woodmansey went down earlier. He had to come into the game. And now with Beardo out, he's going to be relied upon to be the starting center moving forward for the time being. So I like the compete that Mark Corti had in training camp, because his job was on the line. It was well documented. It was a battle between, and it was probably one of the most documented position battles, him and David Beard. One of those 2 guys is going to get the job. The other is going to be the 6th O lineman. David had won out, but Mark still battled. He's a pro. He's a savvy vet. I think he's a 9 or 10 year vet in the league. So he knows what it's about. So U of A guys, and how many U of A guys on this team?
Good program.
I love it, man. I love it for the local roots. I love with Winnipeg how they have all the local Winnipeg guys on the team. But getting back to Mark, he big shoes to fill, but he is the man to do it. And I am really glad that they kept him on the roster, because this is what you need, a savvy vet as an insurance policy, and they're going to really rely upon him at that center position now.
Let's see how this develops. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But in Cordy's case too, I know you're battling, and him and Dave Beard are buddies, and the O-line, they're all, every position group usually gets together and hangs and gets to know one another and their friends. But to me, it seems like you said, good pro. And the fact that they had a good attitude about it goes a long way. And the buy-in, does that come from the coaching staff? Because instead of feeling slighted and being like, screw this, if I'm the odd man out, or if I'm not starting or in some sort of rotation, like I'm done with these guys. It doesn't seem like he's the type to be like that.
No, he's not that type. The coaches have the messaging, Tommy G, but the ultimate buy-in is from the players. To put team above self, right?
Yeah.
And it's so easier said than done, but it takes real unique individual to be able to do that. And usually the guys like that are like that, it works out well for them in the long run. And it's not a matter of karma, but look at Mark's situation. He bought in, laid the ego down, did the best thing for the team, sacrificed himself as much as he wants to be out there. And now look how it's unfolding. They're going to lean on him most likely. I don't want to forecast Beardo's injury, but whenever you're in a boot, I'm not going to say 6 game, but Mark's going to be the dude for the next few weeks minimum.
Okay. Well, at least he's done it before. So good safety blanket to have. The win over Ottawa, Eddie, how much can you utilize that to galvanize you into next week? Because it is an 0-5 team. I know they had their moments last night, but what would you say to that?
Oh, next week's a juicy one.
I like it.
Friday night here against the Lions.
Yeah.
You get another get back game. You laugh, Duke, but it's juicy.
No,
it's a get back game.
It absolutely is. I'm laughing at, are you going to run it back on Elks Nation and trying to further
that's what I'm saying, man.
further stoke the flames of this burgeoning rivalry between elksnation.ca and the BC Lions.
I want to show up with a t-shirt, one trick pony.
I like it.
But seriously, the Elks dropped the ball against the Lions last week. That was a game they should have taken. They're a better team, better roster, better constructed, and they kind of laid an egg, especially in the trenches against BC. So now you're licking your chops. Got BC at home next Friday. Now, the one thing, fellas, that I am very disappointed in, and I don't want to hear any hooey-balooey excuses about summer, because I have kids too. The fans. I am calling out the fans. If you are a fan, show up. I don't want to hear any of this name change garbage, and I get it. I played for the organization. I bled for the Eskimos. You got to show up. If you can't call yourself a fan of this football club if you're not showing up due to a name change, because this is an exciting team. This is a team that's winning, and we've been saying this for years now. You got to win, and they will come. And so far, people aren't coming.
Yeah.
I don't know if the city of Edmonton, the region of Edmonton, doesn't believe in this team yet, if it's the name change, but that's all garbage, because this is one of the best teams in the league. So I don't want to hear any more excuses about summer, about the Eskimos, this and that. The Double E are for real. And are you as a fan for real? Think about yourself. Want you to feel convicted however you're consuming this program this morning, in your car, via podcast, however, and be convicted as a fan, because I'm calling you out. You're not a fan if you're not showing up for a winning team.
Eddie bringing it, and it was a smaller crowd last night. I'll just say that, and the conditions were perfect.
Perfect.
And as Brandon and I were talking going into the show today, all the boxes were checked for it to be a perfect night to get down to Commonwealth. And the people that did show up got a great show, and were highly entertained and walked away happy, especially since they're Double E fans. But you're right. It's tough to see when this team has a new ownership group that's not calling everybody old white guys, and that's their fan base.
Right?
My uncle is an old white guy. His name is Diego. He has not come back since because of that. There's a new ownership group, and it's a community. It's an ownership group that is from Edmonton, loves Edmonton. The Double E logo is prominent. You've got former Eskimos that are running this team now.
They're doing it the right way.
And they're winning. All the boxes are checked, so I hope people start coming back to Commonwealth. And when that stadium's rocking, man, it's the best in the summer. And I know there's other options, and people want to get out, go to the cabin, stuff like that, take advantage of the only nice days. But if you're in town, they've made a lot of options available to make it super affordable to get to.
No doubt about that, the affordability. And put it this way, and you nailed it. There's tons of other things to do, and get out to the lake and have fun and whatnot. But man, when it comes to this football team, I don't want to hear any complaining. I don't want to hear any noise. If you're not willing to show up for a winning team, well, then don't complain. I don't want it. Better be quiet and crickets out there on social media about all the outside external excuses when it comes to this team. You get no say, no skin in the game if you're not going to show up on a perfect day and watch this team win and kick booty.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you, man. All right. That was hour number one. It flew by. Lots of great stuff. Rod Smith, our headliner of the day, was excellent. And the Elks 4-1. We're going to dip into them a little bit later. We're going to get to some hockey talk with Tyler Yaremchuk coming up next. Yaremchuk, of course, from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. We got to get to a sports update brought to you by All-Star Construction. They shape and build Edmonton communities, specializing in underground utilities like power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting. That's All-Star Construction. Here's Brando.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Last night at Commonwealth Stadium, the Edmonton Elks defeat the Redblacks 40-17 to move to 4-1 on the year. Justin Rankin, another sensational game, 150 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns in the victory. World Cup action from yesterday. Kylian Mbappe with another goal on the board. His chase of the Golden Boot continues as France blanks Morocco 2-0 to advance through to the semifinals. And in the majors yesterday, no Blue Jays in action, but plenty of other games, including the Yankees getting one back off the Rays 12-4. Orioles topped the Cubbies 3-2. Red Sox over the White Sox 2-1 from Chicago. And in the nightcap, San Fran tops Colorado 8-2. From Remax Field, the Riverhawks take the rubber match over Nanaimo 6-4, the final. And Stingers in Winnipeg last night, they fall to the Sea Bears 97-93. Coming up in hour 2 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation, and we'll check in with a new edition of In or Out. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the Sports Talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Hour number 2 of the Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365 on a Friday. Hopefully it's going to be a great weekend. First week of this show, almost in the books. It's been a lot of fun, honestly. Thank you once again to everybody that you just see them around town. Saw a lot of people at the stadium yesterday saying hello, saying congrats, tuned in, checked it out, text in. It's fantastic. And to my new teammates, thank you guys. It's been wonderful. And the entire crew here at Stingray and everybody in the building, talking to Pete and Brad over at K97 as I was walking in today, just fantastic. So big thank you to everyone for making this a very positive start to the show, and onward and upwards, and we'll find our groove. And I think we're already off to a good start. So just want to say thank you to everyone. Keep those texts coming in, 1-833-401-1440. We're going to get to Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff. He is filling in for Spec, and that's usually the On the Mark segment. Brought to you by Northside Chevrolet. Buick GMC. Is employee pricing really a good deal? Yes. Yes, it is. This month, shop at Northgate and you pay what they pay all month at northgategm.com. I had the good pleasure of going on Yaremchuk's show. It was so good to be back on the airwaves with him. We worked together back in the 1260 days, and the man is crushing it. The man is busy, and I knew he'd be well on his way to being an excellent broadcaster, and he's certainly fulfilled that. Yaremchuk, what's up? Thanks for coming on the show today, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. As long as it's in the 8 o'clock hour. I had a couple cold ones at the Elks game last night. So when Brandon asked me, I was like, yeah, we're not doing 7:05, 8:05. I can handle.
Oh, well, I wish I was having cold ones at the Elks game. That's always fun, but it's fun to do the broadcast, and I almost died last night, Yaremchuk. So a lot of people have texted in about that. I'm here. We're good to go. But did you have a good time at the game? I mean, it was the result was fantastic.
Yeah, it was great. Like, listen, I'm not a guy who goes to every game or anything like that. I'm not gonna pretend to be someone I'm not. So that was my first time going so far this season. First time since kind of early last year. And I'm kind of with you guys on what you were talking about. Like, it was good that there were, a somewhat decent amount of people there, but for a Thursday night when you're kind of like, no one should be going to the cabin yet. Nobody has other weekend plans that should be getting in the way. Thursday is the first Friday of the week in my eyes. So like I don't know. I'm just a little bit disappointed that on a Thursday night with the weather being the way it was after we've gotten crap weather for the last like 6 weeks, basically. A little bit disappointing that there wasn't a bit of a bigger crowd, but the on-field product was unbelievable last night. Justin Rankin is just a player.
So, Tyler, what do you think, in your opinion, is the reason for that? Because this is a team now. In what I'm asking is the reason for this small attendance with the fans. This team is winning. Do you think it's just people are still jaded from the past regime, jaded from all the losing? Because the reality is, ever since they did change the name over to the Elks, all people associate with the Elks is losing. Do you think they just have to continue to still earning that trust back from the fans?
Yeah, I think so. And like, listen, I can probably really only speak for the people I'm around, and it's my buddies in their late 20s who, I mean, are diehard NFL fans, but for some reason the CFL's just never really clicked in with them. And I mean, they want to do the same stuff I want to do. They want to bet on the game. They want to go drink 5 to 8 beers throughout the course of it. They just want to have a good time and watch a fun product. And that last part, like, you could always do the other two, but when you're going and it's like, hey, we're gonna like go to the game, bet on the Elks. Well, we're probably gonna lose our money, so maybe we shouldn't do that. And then, oh, yeah, okay, we'll go crush beers, but they're down by 3 touchdowns by the fourth quarter. So I do think like people will groan and they always will about the name and this and that. And I think for the casual fans who you're still trying to attract, they just want to know that when they go to the game, they're going to be entertained. And a part of that is winning. You don't want to go watch the other team score 40 points. You want to watch the home team score a bunch of points. You want to watch an electric player. So I do think that when people, flip on TSN Sportsnet for the highlights from last night and they watch Justin Rankin score 3 TDs and the fireworks go off and the team win by 30, they're way more likely to sit there and go, hey, let's look at the schedule. When are they at home next? We should go. It looked great there. So winning is a really, really big part of the formula. Like, you could call them whatever the hell you want to call them. If they're winning and the product's entertaining, casual fans will go. I'm telling you, like, the people in their late 20s aren't crossing their arms going, I'm not going because they're not called the Eskimos. Like, no, they don't care.
Okay, and Yaremchuk makes a good point too. There's been a lot of losing, and there's probably fans. I'm taking the fans' point of view and looking at it from this side. Maybe the trust needs to be built up, and it'll take a little more time than a 4-1 start if I'm looking at it from that point of view. But Yaremchuk makes a good point. So we'll see. If you get a win next week in a good game against BC, hopefully the weather holds up again, and then you start to coax people into coming back down. Hopefully, that's how
I'm with you.
Okay. You want to shift gears to hockey, or did you want to add to it?
No, I do want to shift gears. I actually
Let's
have a question for both of you boys in regards to hockey. The Stanley Cup engravings
Let's
and
do
the
it.
photo that came out yesterday with the owner and his family, 7 of them in total engraved on that bad boy. What is your guys' opinion on that? Because I have my own personal thoughts and opinion. I want to hear your guys'.
Go ahead, Tyler.
So I think if it was, if his wife had an active role in helping him run the team, then like, oh, okay, sure. You want to put your wife's name on the trophy? Sure, we get it. If you have a couple of adult children who are on some governor boards or whatever and hold some sort of a position, then maybe I'd sit here and be like, yeah, you know what? Sure, you want to throw them on the cup because they're your kids. You're the owner at the end of the day. You can do whatever you want. Putting on your kid who's in elementary school and who is in Dallas or something the night they that's so beyond stupid. It's super disrespectful, I think, to the trophy and the history of the sport. It's super short-sighted and selfish of Tom Dundon, but if you watch the way he's acted since he's taken over the Portland Trailblazers, that would be not entirely surprising. So I think it's very on brand for an owner like Tom Dundon. I think it's super disrespectful and it's just lame. Like, I don't know, it just sucks.
Well said, like on the head. Yaremchuk nailed it. Tom Dundon, since day one, everyone says this is a different cat. But the league, should have stepped in. And there were people when this first happened, and we saw the image of the engraving of the cup with the Carolina Hurricanes names on it. Somebody actually like added me to the thread and was like, well, if you can put all these Dundons on there, and like your Umchuk said, one of the kids of what, elementary?
Yeah.
Then what about Basil Pocklington having his name X'd out in, I think it was like was it the 88 Cup? Maybe it was a different one, but Peter Pocklington's dad, his name was engraved on the cup and it had X's punched over his name after. And that's a good point because there was a threshold to maintain, and they did. And if you didn't meet that threshold as being someone who was part of the organization or played an active role in the club, then you had no business having your name engraved on the Stanley Cup. And this is just like a total disrespect to that, in my opinion. And I'm going, what the hell's the league doing? Did they just say, you know what? You pick the 50 whatever spots are available, whatever names you want, you put on there. Why would you give it up like that if you're the league?
Yeah.
Or the Hall, whoever creates that rule.
Because there's 15 lines, right? And if you're taking up 7 spaces for your family members, you're excluding some people who had carried some weight in that organization to help you do some winning. Now, I'm a little bit different, though, than you boys. You know, I got my name engraved on the Grey Cup. And I'll be honest, as a player, I'm looking at my name. I could care less if we didn't have an owner back then, who, of course, community owned the board and stuff. They all had their name. I could care less whose name was on it outside of my name. As long as my name didn't get excluded, I really, it didn't matter. I wouldn't care if there was, 80 people on there that I didn't know. And then the other side of this is there not, I guess, isn't there a bit of a right, so to speak, what he's done with this franchise, the way he saved it? They were going to relocate. He's invested. It's his money. He bought it. Don't you think he has a bit of say in who gets to get engraved on that to a degree?
I understand. Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Eddie, so like you might not care about the other names around you, but how would you feel if the owner of the Eskimos put on 6 of his kids and Dwayne Mandrusiak doesn't get on? Because that's what happened is the Carolina Hurricanes, his name's Bobby Gorman, longtime equipment guy, didn't get his name on the cup this time around.
And that's the issue that I said, right? You only have 15 spaces, and that is the issue for sure. I don't like that. That's filthy. We already saw how they treated the equipment manager, Dwayne Mandrusiak, like you just brought up. Filthy. You got to put the people on who bleed and sweat for the organization.
You guys know, Eddie, obviously, you know how much blood, sweat, and tears the equipment managers put in, the ATs put in, because not only are they looking after your equipment, not only are they looking after you on the sidelines if you're nicked up, they're the ones putting in the late hours, getting the gear washed up. The equipment managers get help from the athletic therapists and everyone, massage therapists, putting the room together, making sure it's ready, especially in hockey. There's some late flights when those guys fly in, and it isn't just the 2 equipment guys doing it. And I'm sure Dwayne had some help as well. Whenever you guys would fly into a city, you're helping out the visiting team when you're at home. Those are the people that are putting in the long, tireless, thankless hours that for them, yes, they get to be part of a pro team, and they do important work for those pro teams, but they also feel like they're chasing the championship with the players that they're helping.
I tell you what, they do a lot more lifting than little Maddox Dundon from, Dallas, wherever he's at in middle school. That's for sure. I don't like that one bit. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, Chuck, I'm glad you brought that up. Hontorio Momes, I see your text. He also brought up that point about the equipment manager, longtime equipment manager. So, Tyler, thank you for hopping on that portion of the discussion because, I was going to bring it up as well. It is on the mark. Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff with us. Okay, man, we finally got the decision. The Anaheim Ducks match Leo Carlsson. Now what for Pat Verbeek? How do you see this? Because there's more drama unfolding, and then we'll wrap things up with Dylan Larkin conversation.
Yeah, I think the Ducks had to, man. Like when you look at what the Philadelphia Flyers would have been with Leo Carlsson, maybe not a Stanley Cup contender, but you're going to trade. The best way was, like we talked about it on my show, like if the Anaheim Ducks would have gotten a call 2 weeks ago and said, hey, we'll trade you 4 mid-first round picks for Leo Carlsson, the Ducks would have slammed the phone down and been like, no, we're not doing that. So the value wasn't there. Does it suck you have to overpay him? Yeah, I guess. But if you view him as the, next kind of face of your franchise, which they do, and I look at him as a player and I'm like, man, is this guy on like a Leon Draisaitl sort of trajectory where like it takes him a few years with the big body to kind of get that strength and learn how to use it, and then he's just going to pop and spike one of these years? Like, I really do view him as that kind of a player. You can't let him go for a handful of first-round picks. So does it put them in a pretty weird, awkward spot for this upcoming season? Yeah, you might need to trade Frank Vetrano, who didn't even play in the playoffs, by the way. Like, that's not the biggest deal if you need to move on from him. Maybe you have to move on from an Alex Killorn, a good vet, a year earlier than you thought you would. Maybe you just shouldn't have signed AJ Greer for $4.2 million, but whatever. There'll be a cap casualty, but like whoever they lose, if it's Killorn or Vetrano, losing that guy for next season is not as big of a deal as if you would have lost your number one center. And going forward, they still have $39 million in cap space next season. They're fine. Like, they're going to be able to manage the cap going forward. Just this season, it's going to sting for a year, but at least you still have a guy who you envision being a part of your franchise for the next decade. So interesting to see where Verbeek goes and which veteran ends up getting moved out of the picture in Anaheim. But I just think they had no choice but to match it.
All right, let's look at Dylan Larkin, because now once like one big area of discussion in the league gets taken care of, like the Carlson situation, we shift to the next. And this has kind of flown under the radar a little bit. Ty, is Dylan Larkin, and looks like he would accept a trade to the Stars, and he's expanding his list to 4 teams. What do you also think about these guys? Now, Larkin's a little bit different because he's been in the league for a while, but kind of controlling and dictating where they go. And that's more so geared towards like these young guys who've only been in the league for a couple of years, different than Larkin.
Yeah, I mean, listen, teams are always going to use the leverage they have when they're negotiating against a player, right? You look at small potatoes, but the Oilers and Colton Dach, he's an RFA with no arbitration rights. His option is, do you want to sign the QO or do you want to not play next year? Because the Oilers are under no obligation to pay that guy more than basically $900,000, right? They're not going to say, ooh, we feel bad for you and we think you're worth. So when it's the player's turn, I kind of don't blame them for just saying, it's my career, it's my life. You gave me the full no movement clause. Well, you aren't, like, if Dylan Larkin wasn't delivering, similar Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse wasn't delivering on his end of the contract. So the Oilers went to him and said, hey, this sucks, but we want you to waive your no movement clause and give us a list and all of that. All Dylan Larkin's doing is looking at Steve Yzerman and going, hey, when I signed and I got my no movement clause, you were supposed to build a winner around me, and you're not holding up your end of the bargain. So now I'm going to use the rights that I have in my contract to go play on a winning hockey team. So I don't blame these guys at all for using their leverage. Would I maybe like to see a little bit more loyalty in the NHL? Sure. Do I think that applies in any way to Dylan Larkin, who's been there for 10 years and played more Olympic games than Stanley Cup playoff games? No, I don't think it applies. So it's a matter of who's going to blink first. Is Steve Yzerman going to finally go, you know what, fine, whatever the best offer is from Dallas, I'm just going to take it and end this storyline? Or is Dylan Larkin going to blink and go, okay, there actually are 8 teams that I would take a trade to, and there can be a bit of a bidding war here for Dylan Larkin where Yzerman can finally get a good offer. But we also know Steve Yzerman's a stubborn general manager, man. So I don't think he's blinking first. And I think with the news that he's expanding his list, I think Larkin's maybe realizing that he's not going to get his way quite that easily.
Hey, Tyler, as we're about to wrap this up, I got to ask you, man, we're right around the corner from your hole-in-one challenge.
Mm-hmm.
What is going to be the approach for you this year? What did you learn from last year? How are you going to change the strategy? And more importantly, what club are you going to come out the gates with, Ty?
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. So last year when I did this, it was right on the heels of my honeymoon. So, and we got delayed. We were stranded in Hawaii for another couple days. So I landed something like 18 hours before my ace race started last year.
No excuses, Ty. No excuses, Ty.
I know. But, and then what happened was 45 minutes in, I lipped out. So in my head, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it fast. And there was $5,000 on the line because I had a bet with Jay. And I was like, I'm going to do this quick. And in my head, my logic was, I know my body doesn't have a lot in it because I was drained and I had a travel day there. So I was like, if I just pin it, pedal to the floor, I was teeing up like 10 balls at a time and just hitting them. I can't do that because my body shut down. I only made it I made it 18 hours last year, hit 2,500 balls, lipped out at 7:30 p.m. as well. My lesson is that I have to trust I'm a good enough golfer, and I am, that if I just tee up 2 at a time, hit one, make your adjustment, hit another one, then like reset, drink some Gatorade, take your time, tee up 2 more. So I'm going to be a lot more methodical with it this year is my thinking. The hole plays at around 155 yards. So I'm going to start with my 7-iron as I would if I was normally golfing. But after probably about a couple hours, it's going to be a high teed up 6-iron. I broke my 5-iron last year because that's the one I used from about 1 p.m. till about 5:30 p.m. Because once you start losing your power, you're just like basically running it up to the hole and hoping to get a bounce.
Yes.
I hit probably 1,300 balls with my 5-iron and it just snapped in half eventually. It was crazy.
Wow.
So last year was wild, man. We dealt with a storm. This year it looks like the weather's going to be good. And yes, Monday, 6:30, Oilers Nation YouTube. I'll have 24 hours to get my hole in one.
That's at Cattail, right?
Out of Cattail, yeah.
And which par 3 is it?
It used to be hole 2. Now it's hole 11 on the back 9.
Hole 11 on the back 9. Oh, is that
Faces
that's
the parking
long one, but I think they moved the tee boxes up.
Yeah, I play out of the front tees for it just because I couldn't. There's no shot I could do it if it was 180. I have people who tell me I'm an idiot for trying to do it at like 155 or whatever, which like I probably am, and I'm an idiot in a lot of ways. But I want it to be a bit of a challenge. I don't want to be like pitching wedge in for 110. That's not the point of this. The point of this is that it's supposed to be like difficult for me to accomplish. So, 24 hours. We'll see, man. I don't know. It's the interesting part about this is we've spent like 6 months planning this event, and we got beer gardens and we got light stands this year in case it goes until it's dark and like all these other things. And like, I know this is very egotistical. There's a chance I just get it like in the first hour. Like I could get it early, and then we did all this planning for nothing. But I don't know. We'll see. I know it's going to be harder than that.
They do a great job over at Cattail. Yeah. Gord Shamahorn, Mark Beck, and the whole crew out there is fantastic. Hacksaw says, Tommy Two-Tone, tell the chucker that if after 18 hours he hadn't drained one, he should just start drinking.
I'll probably start drinking before the 18 hours.
I was about to say, it would be well before 18 hours in.
Helps me stay loose.
Yes, exactly. My uncle calls it swing lubricant.
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever works. We're going to wish you luck.
Motion.
Yeah, I'll probably pop out to come see you as well. So hopefully you drain one. Ty, thanks for doing this today. Glad you made it out to the football game. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Yep. Thanks, boys. See ya.
There's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Face. I went a little bit heavy there, which was okay. We have an open segment coming up. We'll get to some texts, some good discussion happening today in the text line and over on YouTube. And, of course, filling in for Spec was Yaremchuk. Oh, boy, there I am on SportsCenter, not dying. That was On the Mark, powered by Northgate. This truck's for you. We got to step out for a quick break. We're going to laugh at me. That's the way it's going. And then we'll return with more of the conversation here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country. For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. It's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at prosolutionsinc.ca.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home to sports is Sports 1440.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Allen Olson Auctions presents the annual Camrose Summer Consignment Auction, open right now for online bidding through July 14th at allenolsonauction.com. This huge consignment sale features a totally unreserved retirement dispersal for Jace Craft. Bid on a variety of new and unused equipment in excellent condition, including machinery, lawn and garden tools, skid steers, and attachments. Plus, trucks, construction and farm equipment, buildings, and so much more. For more info, call 780-672-2434 or visit allenolsonauction.com today.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The Tom Gazzola Show. Oiler insider and Jersey aficionado. Edmonton's sports leader. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
Happy Friday. Tom, Eddie, Brandon, Benny with you. Gazzola Show. Text us 1-833-401-1440. I'm going to dive into the text line a little bit again because really good participation. I always encourage it. I like it. And if you have something to say, I want to hear from you. And I really, really appreciate the people that have been texting and the people that have been saying, Tom, good to see you alive. Thank you. Yes. Almost died last night on the sidelines. And Eddie, thanks for pointing it out. Oh, there it is again. Literally again.
Tom, you are
You
the
ran
best.
in, Tommy, you ran into that thing, man.
I know.
Holy.
We got Sports Center on loop here on the TVs in studio. Tom's clip is the best. This is the end of Sports Center, like where it used to be the top 10 or highlight of the night. It's the best. It's Tom Gazzola on the sidelines at Commonwealth Stadium.
What if you fell, huh? That was
I
tough.
know.
Would you have been embarrassed?
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit.
Mark Rowe and Scooby are having fun with it. Well, all right. It's all good. and if you didn't catch it, like my parents were sitting in my seats that are behind the Elks bench that I've had for years and years and years. Obviously, I'm from here, grew up on the north side, that Italian church that shares the parking lot. That's where I went. My no-no.
Santa Maria.
Goretti.
Yes.
He helped build it when he came off the boat from Italy. Like
cool.
literally, he was a carpenter. So
Neat.
it's a lot of connection there. So I love being at that stadium. I love covering games, whether it's here or in Calgary, whatever. So my dad's staring at me going, watch out, watch out. And he looked at me like I was a 5-year-old kid shaking his head. And my mom's like, oh my God, Tommy, what are you doing?
Tommy, no.
Yeah, she's a little Polish lady. And she actually like came down the steps when I had a break. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, just go have a drink.
Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss.
No, that's my mom.
Tommy, you're lucky, man. I said,
I know.
You're lucky you didn't pop a suit button or something, man. That would have been the worst.
Yeah.
That would have been the worst.
We got out of it scot-free, and we have a great story to tell in regard to what happened last night. And then ultimately, it's a double E victory, which is the most important thing for fans. And there's texts that are coming in regard to like, hey, getting butts in seats again. And there were a couple games last year, late in the season, the Calgary rematch
Big,
Pretty much
30,000
full,
plus.
31,000.
Then Sask.
And man, and even a little bit Winnipeg, that late Winnipeg
late
game, it was better. But you're right. The Sask one was excellent, and it's good to see the green and white show up. I know people like to kind of roll your eyes, Saskatchewan fans, but they're there. They're paying for those tickets.
Totally, man.
They're bringing it when it comes to the atmosphere. They're cheering on their
They're
team.
filling up that bowl.
And I respect the heck out of that. So they're filling up that bowl. Exactly. And then the Calgary one, that's a great rivalry, especially when the first game of the Labor Day week is a good one down at McMahon. Okay, there are a couple texts. Let's jump into them here. 49 Chuck says, good morning, guys. More people will show up for the Double E games if they played on Friday night or Saturday. Not a big fan of Thursday night games, especially when 85% need to work in the morning. Yeah, like Chuck 49, I understand, but there's texts that have come in that were like, oh, there was more people at the Riverhawks game last night. There weren't, because the stadium doesn't hold as many people. What were we saying before the show, Brando? Was it 6?
At the Riverhawks game, that's what I think Josh said he saw somewhere. Or did you saw it somewhere?
I mentioned that I saw in
yeah.
the 6K range.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is about 2/3 of Remax Field, give or take.
Yeah, because it's
about 9. I think 9,200 is max.
Okay.
So Oilers, they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Friday, Saturday. They play every night of the week, and there's people there. And it's not in the summer.
And they play later than the Elks.
Yeah. So that's just an excuse. I'll have an answer for all these types of excuses, days of the week, this and that. It's summer on a Thursday. That's not crazy. And like Chucker said, man, Thursday's like the new Friday.
It's
Friday Junior in the summertime.
Yeah.
Like Speck thought it was Friday on Wednesday.
He did.
And so he mailed it in just 2 days into the week. I think everyone else, like all the Edmontonians and football fans, can stretch their evening out a little bit on a Thursday.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I get it. It's not ideal, but every team in the league has some Thursdays on their schedule at home. And Eddie, I totally understand the Oilers' point. I feel like the difference is when you're sinking in like thousands of bucks, the way you commit to the Oilers. But
that's very true.
I think too, if things aren't as successful with the hockey team and the price point continues to balloon like it has, and we'll see what happens with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Time will tell, obviously. I don't think people are as willing to put their hard-earned money, and that much hard-earned money. Some have already stepped away from the Oilers saying, guys, too much. I can't put that much of my money into going to these games or committing to those tickets. But I think that's when you'll start to see people look at more price or family-friendly, price-friendly options like the Elks, like the Riverhawks, like the Stingers.
At what point does that balloon burst? Because you can't keep, are people just going to keep paying these crazy prices going up and going up and going up? Because it is insane. And the commitment level, you nailed that, Tommy G. Even having bought some power packs myself in the past, 4 game packs here and there.
You're hooked.
You're hooked. Even if you don't, it's like, oh, I got to get to the game. I'm not feeling it tonight, but I got to get to the game because I got the tickets and they were $250 a pop. And yeah, it's different.
It is. And that's, that element I can understand, but and maybe to the fans' point, the trust in the winning needs to be built back up after all the unsuccessful seasons. And 4-1 is good. We see the promise in the team. You see it with the quality of what they have on the field and the players and the way they're playing. But maybe just for like the casual fan, it's not quite there, but perhaps it's going in the right direction.
Well, I'll tell you fellas one thing. For the next 3 programs that I'm on today, Monday, and next Friday, you're going to hear the same repetitive lingo out of me. And next Friday, looking at the long range forecast, it's going to be sunny, 26 degrees.
Money.
No rain. Friday night, 7 p.m. BC Lions are here. I don't want to hear any excuses. It's a Friday night. So, okay, Thursdays don't work. It's a Friday night. Okay. Weather? No, it's going to be 26 degrees and sunny. What else do you got for excuses? The name change? Nah, they're winning.
Mosquitoes?
Nah. Come on. Friday night, 7 p.m. I'll see you down there, Edmonton, next week.
Beers are cold. Food's good. Vibes are high. People want to see, like the hardcore Elks fans want to see that building packed as well.
Let's fill this bowl.
Yeah.
There is no reason not to. This team is one of the best teams in the league. Come and watch a great product.
One more text. And I like the counterpoints too. So the debate's always great. Always encourage that, by the way, if you're just getting familiar with me. So Chris S. texts in, said CFL isn't worth late nights the way the NHL is. Commonwealth is a hassle to get to these days. Not part of a town anyone cares to be around anymore. I get and acknowledge what Chris S. is saying, but I don't believe it myself. Like I don't. Commonwealth is on the LRT route. No, they don't have the shuttles like the same city buses that they used to. And obviously it got to a low point, but you see more bars and restaurants around town starting to be like, well, we're running Elks promos. We're starting to do buses.
Exactly.
Again.
Bus people in.
Yeah. It has to be a destination, a vibe, an event.
I hear you. Commonwealth isn't ideal, but and this isn't a tit for tat, but when we're talking about an Oilers game, how's parking downtown? How close can you get? Like you can. Yeah,
well,
I get
it's going to cost you.
It's going to cost you, and I understand you can park underground, but we're not talking about the elements right now. In terms of just parking and walking to your destination, how far out and how much are you paying? And really, what's the difference between doing that and getting into Commonwealth?
Yeah. Yeah. Some people are saying, oh, Ben Dangle says, way to disparage a hood. Crime happens everywhere in the city. I live right downtown, Ben, so I see it every day. That's fair. And there's crime all over the city. But they're building like the southeast side by the stadium. There's new housing and there's new refreshed developments in and around there. They're working to make it
They really are
a better environment, better neighborhood, and the Elks are doing everything in their power to get this right. It's going to take some time, but yeah, I kind of understand some of the points, but the CFL not being worth, I disagree with that. Commonwealth being hard to get to, I don't agree with that.
Well, Commonwealth hasn't changed since what? When was it? The 60s?
78. But they've been playing in that area since 1949.
So yeah, I mean, nothing has changed here. It's when I was playing with the Eskimos in 2013 through 16, we were getting 32.5. That was our average. Nothing has changed since then. Buildings in the same place, same challenges to get there, same weather patterns, much different atmosphere.
Yep. Kyle says, what restaurants do a park and ride? There's more popping up. I know BP used to do a bunch of them, I think.
I see BP.
I know Brewhouse guys are starting to do more. Right. A Pint starting to do it. I have friends over there. So not as many, Kyle, but it's starting to happen again. Okay. Good debate. Good conversation. There's some texts that have come in that are way over the line that I will not read. I will not read those.
I got to hear it.
Oh, yeah. There's one. You'll see it, Eddie. But we've got In or Out coming up next with Brandon. It is the Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365.
Everything is going to be okay. Any business, regardless of size, can stumble occasionally. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. If your business is facing financial challenges, our team of chartered insolvency and restructuring professionals have corporate debt recovery solutions that work. Schedule your free Faber focus session at faber.ca today. Chances of a positive outcome increase if you engage Faber sooner rather than later.
Today on Hey Culligan, how smart is your water? Here's Tracy.
Hey, Culligan. I think my water might be dumb.
Good news, Tracy. Your water's not dumb. It's just not talking to you.
You can make my water talk.
No, but the new Culligan Smart Drinking Water System can talk to your phone to tell you when your water filters need changing and help you meet drinking water goals.
Now that's some brilliant H2O.
You said it, Tracy, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Early mornings just got louder. For the hottest takes and the sports stories that actually matter to Edmonton, you need Tom Gazzola. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440 at 833-401-1440.
The big hits. The big kicks. Catch all the action at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in a house with tons of big screens. And Selly's menu. Something for everyone. Plus game day food and drink features. So bring your friends, cheer loud and proud, and join the fun at Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Every day is game day at Century Casino.
Here's what you need to know about Lux Windows. We work hard. We come in early, we stay late, we go above and beyond, and then we go a little further. Not for awards or a pat on the back. We work hard so that choosing our windows and doors is an easy decision for you. It's the Alberta way. It's the Lux way. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
Playlist Friday request. I love it. Love it. Yeah, somebody's like, holy expletive, song choice.
Yeah,
Well
that's
done,
a
Eddie.
throwback.
Yeah,
Throwback.
a little Nelly.
Country grandma, baby.
Feeling good on a Friday. It's the Gazzola Show presented by Bet365. We need to get to in or out with Brandon, brought to you by Pro Solutions. Need fast AC service? Pro Solutions offers expert repairs, tune-ups, and installs with flexible financing. Book your appointment now at prosolutionsinc.ca. Let's go.
Okay, you know what? Moving too fast. Bottom line, are you in or you out? In or out of what? No time for questions, just action. In or out. Well, then I'm out. I'm sorry, Jet. Actually, you're already in.
Are you in or are you out?
On Sports 1440.
I thought you would go, I'm in, Bob. We would have had a really cool moment, but you kind of ruined the whole thing.
Last night at Commonwealth Stadium, the Edmonton Elks top Ottawa 40-17, improved to 4-1 on the season, despite having just the 2 sacks on the box score. The Elks D line was the most impressive position group in the game.
I am so out. I am
Eddie,
so
Eddie, I'm sorry.
out.
What position did you play?
Defensive line.
Wow, you can't even respect your own brethren.
I almost made a comment, but probably would have got me in trouble.
Oh boy.
A funny joking comment, of course, boys. It's always a joke.
Okay.
But I'm out, Duke. The defensive line still not playing up to snuff for me. Again, very high standards, maybe too high sometimes for the position group, but coming out of a game with 2 sacks when you had 550 40 yards essentially of net offense.
Yeah.
There was a lot of big plays made on offense, and I think none other than 3 touchdowns by the MOP front runner right now in Justin Rankin, and doing his heavy lifting on route to becoming the first 1,000. Now he's sitting at 500 plus rushing and right around 300 yards receiving.
Absolutely crushing it. The guy is ascended into superstardom in the CFL and deserves all the praise he can get. I'm out on this one too, Brennan. I will give the secondary a lot of love with the 4 picks
I thought this is where Eddie was going to go. I thought that was the obvious counter to it when you have that many interceptions in a game. But my retort would be the picks all came because of defensive pressure, like D-line.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
And they got after Mayer. They made life incredibly difficult on it. The secondary should have had 3 more interceptions than they even did, which, listen, it was a great all-around effort by the team. I can understand where you're coming from, Eddie, 100%. That, like, Rankin obviously pops off again.
Leak too.
And the fact that Leak not only contributed, but like in an impactful way, it's a really encouraging sign. And we're kind of seeing them start to use the 2 backs even on the field at the same time, and switch them back and forth to maybe open things up for number 5 a little bit. Because it's funny, like Leak had that drive where he gets the touchdown pulled off, but he was kind of the guy in that possession. Then they just come right back and go back to Rankin full time, and he diced him up for 2 straight drives with touchdowns. So I have to imagine we understand from the outside looking in. Tom, you're even more on the inside than most. Like, these guys are very friendly. They're familiar. They're buddies. They like it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to think there's still a little bit of that competitive nature that when Rankin sees Leak go out there and bust off a couple nice runs, technically scores, but obviously pull back, and he's like, well, now I gotta answer the bell. He goes out there in a huge way with 2 unbelievable scores, doing what he does best, bouncing outside, making guys miss, all the things that make him the front runner for MOP so far. So it's a fair retort, Eddie, on the running back side of things. But even, like, I get it. The box score says they only had 2 sacks. You need more production, but I thought they were all over the game. And look at what they did to the run. Like the Red Blacks had nothing going in the run game. They threw the ball to 2 players 30 times. And other than that, the offense was essentially non-existent.
If you're Greg Bell and you just signed out there, I know he probably got a good ticket, but you're probably just...
He got the ball 7 times, turned it into 19
Yeah.
yards, and then he had 4 targets as well, which he had another 17 yards. So not exactly the most productive day for your number 1 running back. And it's not like it was a 2-point game for a good chunk of the first half and then into the third quarter. So it's not like they needed to completely deviate from the run because they're chasing it so heavily. It's just a matter of the Elks, the front was doing such a good job of giving them no room to operate. So I liked what I saw from the D-line, even if the actual production from a tangible perspective, sack numbers, are still maybe leaving a little bit to be desired.
I get it.
The Elks did spread the ball around on offense, and even if the running backs in the form of Leak and Rankin did steal the spotlight, of course, with Rankin's 3 scores in particular, but the receiving group had a solid game as well. 8 different players catching a pass. We're 6 weeks in, 5 games. I think TJ Luther is really starting to emerge as the team's second best wide receiving option, because we know Rankin's so heavily involved in the pass game, but second best wide receiver option behind, of course, de facto number 1, Austin Mack.
I'll also be out on this one, and I'm not discrediting TJ Luther because this is good. We were wondering how the receiving core would be upgraded by Ed Hervey, and he seems to have a knack to find some guys. And we're watching TJ Luther kind of establish himself here. I still have time for Keon Julian Grant, and I know he had some bad drops last year. He also had some clutch plays last year, and I think this year he's been rock solid. I know he didn't get the ball a ton last night, pardon me. But he can't knock a veteran guy like that. And then Brendan O'Leary-Orange has also been pretty good at times. Just got taken down on that big play. But maybe, Duke, at the end of the season, I'm in on this, but right now I'm out.
Yeah, Duke, this is a good one. This is a really tight battle, a little bit closer than some might even anticipate. I'm going to be out, though. And I'm going to be with Tommy G. I'm going with Keon Julian Grant as being the number 2 target right now. Here's some numbers. Keon Julian Grant's been targeted 27 times. He's caught 18 balls, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging 10.9. Luther has been targeted 27, same amount. He's caught 21, so 3 more than Keon Julian Grant. 253, so a little bit more yards, only 1 touchdown, averaging 12. Right now, just when I'm watching the game, it feels like Kaon is more of a safety blanket for Cody. That's just based off the feel for me. The numbers might say Luther has a little bit more there, slightly more production, 3 more catches, but it just feels like that safety net is Kaon Julian. And then we talk about the touchdown numbers. Kaon has 3. So that's when he's down in the red zone, clearly he's targeting him.
100%. I definitely think Julian Grant is still the more viable red zone option, and whether that's because of his ability, his veteran experience. Like, this is a guy that's been around and doing it very productively for a long time now. There's no doubt that there's a level of familiarity, but it's something about like Luther and you just went over the numbers. He's obviously made a few more receptions on the same number of targets. He's kind of like, to me, coming across as maybe the more sure-handed of the options. And I'm not saying like Julian Grant's a drop machine or anything of that nature, but when the ball's in his direction, I just have myself like, when the ball's in the air, I'm like, well, he'll catch it. Like that's the impression I'm getting from Luther compared to, say, we mentioned O'Leary Orange with the big play, but in Cephas, these are guys that are still think you're kind of like, if it's thrown in their direction, you're a little skeptical if they're going to come down with it, even if it's a freebie at times. Austin Mack, obvious number 1, the couple catches he makes last night are all world, right? Like it's very obvious that he's filled that needed role for the team. I'm just pretty heady on what Luther can maybe continue to grow into being. He's a little bit undersized compared to, say, Julian Grant, not by a ton. Still just 26 years old, first year, I think, right, in the CFL. I'm liking what I'm seeing and hoping that he can continue to build and grow. Finally, wrapping things up on the CFL front, we have touched on it sporadically throughout the morning here, but on a night with perfect conditions in near every single facet, the weather, the way the team is playing, the opportunity for a bounce back against an inferior opponent, you're expecting to see some points on the board. Had to wait a while, but we did get them in the fourth quarter. The turnout and crowd at Commonwealth Stadium was exceptionally disappointing.
I was hoping to see 20 plus.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. I love going to any sporting event. So I'm kind of one of those guys that gets excited whenever there's a game happening and try to get out to them. And I was hoping that Edmonton would start to rally around the team, but maybe, like I said, and we've heard some counterpoints from people in the text line, and I've read a bunch of them, and maybe the trust isn't quite there in the team yet, but hopefully it's building in the right direction. But I'm still disappointed. But the people that were there were great.
Yeah, I'm in. Absolutely. I thought there would be well above, you say around 20. I thought minimum 15, and we weren't even at half of that. It felt like
optimistic over here, obviously.
I mean, I'm in the same boat as you, Tommy, but the reality is keep winning. Keep winning. There's nothing else to say. I'm so old school when it comes to this. You can do all the fancy stuff, business ops, this and that. Keep winning games. Keep winning games. This team keeps winning at the clip that they're winning at, where they're 4-1. If you every 5 games you're going 4-1, man, meet me at the end of the season.
That would be great, honestly, if we're in the fall and that stadium's, almost sold out, 31,000 in the lower bowl. I remember when I started as a season ticket holder, 2006 after the 2005 Grey Cup, 35,000.
Oh yeah, easy.
Easy. Sometimes 40 for those big games.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. Obviously, a different time, a couple decades ago, but we had those small glimpses and tastes of it last year, where it's like, oh yeah, it can still be pretty damn good.
No doubt.
So then my follow-up would be, when we're all in agreement, like, yeah, we all thought there would be more people there and are a little disappointed with what happened from an attendance perspective. Eddie, we've been talking about this since day one of launching the station. What is the next step then for the team to take to try and pull more people back in?
Keep doing. This is the first time
you're
in 3
talking.
years.
You're talking. This is like
winning.
You've taken this step. Now just keep putting one foot in front of the other, moving forward.
Week after week, keep winning games. You look at seasons as thirds, right? There's 18 games, so they're about to finish their first third. And if you have success against BC next week and come out of that first third 5-1, what if you go 5-1 or 4-2 in your next third? All of a sudden you're at 10 wins with only a couple of losses. Then your next third, if you do the same thing, then you end up being one of the best. If you have a team that's hosting the West Final and you're still only getting 8,000 people out, man, I'm shaking my finger at all you Edmonton residents.
I have to point this out. Matty Iwanek would always bring this up. In 20 years, Edmonton has had 3 home games in the playoffs.
Wow.
That's it. And Eddie, two of them were your Grey Cup run.
Yeah, they were.
Yep.
Yeah, the one was the Grey Cup run, and then the other would have been the year before against Sask semifinal, and then the Grey Cup in 15.
Yep.
Yeah, we smoked Calgary here at home.
And now you could get technical, be like, well, you had the Grey Cup in 2018, yeah, but and the 2010 one, but the Elks weren't in those games, or the Eskimos weren't in those games, so that's not good. 3 playoff games you would expect in 2 years at one point in this franchise's history. Anyway.
And then I'll finish on this, and this is just an open-ended question to listeners, to you guys. So often the comparison is to the Riverhawks because they're the other big summer draw from a sporting perspective here, and an outdoor one at that, right, where weather matters, all these things. People always talk about the Riverhawks, the in-game experience, the entertainment. Now, baseball is different than football. You had a chance to, in between each inning, do little fun games. And we talked yesterday, Tommy, about, Donovan, their in-game host, and our buddy Ryder does a great job at the Elks, but you are more limited in what you're able to do. How can they improve that experience further for the people in the stadium?
I don't know the answer, but I keep hearing this in-game experience. Have we really evolved and changed drastically as humans? Because why did we not? You shake your head,
Yes,
yeah, but
we have. Like, if we're talking about getting new people, younger fans in the game,
experience,
that's absolutely
that was never
a
thing. That was never a thing at
people aren't the
sporting
same
events,
anymore,
even 10 years ago. Like, now people are going to the games not for the game, but for the in-game experience.
100%.
Interesting.
Or at least in equal parts.
Okay.
They want, when the play is not being active.
All the years of watching sports, all the hundreds of years, now we have gotten to a point where we don't want to see a winning product. We just want the in-game experience.
This argument, when I worked at Oilers TV, you worked with the in-game crew and we'd help each other out. There were times where people would just dump all over the in-game experience, and this isn't good enough. I always found it to be, through all the years I've been covering sports, that's an easy excuse to get mad at
100%
something.
it is.
And even to this day, the Oilers in-game crew, production side, Lindsay Gullett does a phenomenal job. They're nominated and winning awards against NFL teams, MLB teams, NBA teams, and there's still people saying the in-game experience sucks at Rogers Place. Well, if it sucks, then why are these guys winning awards and getting nominated for them? I feel like that's one that's used as an easy out. And now the Riverhawks have carte blanche to do whatever the heck they want, and they nail it. Ryder's doing a great job. The Elks are trying to do a better job to make the in-game experience good. I find myself laughing at stuff that I see or listening and watching and be like, hey, that's pretty good. Or seeing like kids running in T-Rex outfits. Like, they're trying to do what they can with a 60,000 seat football stadium and one scoreboard.
Yep.
Okay. It's interesting how that comes up, and it's like, well, what do you want? Like, what do you? They brought in Flo Rida for halftime one year.
Yeah, totally, literally.
Busta Rhymes.
When they did
people
that,
still didn't care.
Yeah, and when they did that, we were in the locker room and like half the team was out watching the
Yeah.
concert.
Well,
But
can you blame him? Flo Rida rocks.
But I just don't recall people bitching and moaning about in-game experience. Like, maybe my blinders have been up, but this seems to be such a newer thing where it's something to complain about.
I feel like it's an old standby that if you're pissed off about something at a home game, you can go right to it. And they brought in, did they bring in? No, not Terrell Owens. Who did they bring? They brought in some people. They flew some guys in to do like the coin flip. Shannon Sharp one time. He literally got off the plane, went to Commonwealth. I think he did a couple of interviews, flipped the coin, left, waved to everybody, went on the plane and flew home. Like,
Gonzo.
they tried numerous different things. They invested hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to upgrade the in-game experience. And guess what the response was from people that went or saw what the in-game experience and options were? It was wah, wah, and it didn't matter.
My in-game experience is watching Justin Rankin.
There you go.
And I'm not disagreeing with the idea that that's how it should be, but I just don't think that's the reality we live in anymore. In like, it's just like a society, an evolution thing, a generational thing.
Brando, I don't think they could do anything, and I don't think it'll appease people.
Well, it won't appease
And they'll
everybody.
still
That's just
use that
human
excuse.
nature. That
Yeah.
people always want something to complain about. And just via our text line for several years, it's one of the primary things that people say, like, well, the Riverhawks do this and this. They're not the same. One is a college baseball league, and one is a professional football team.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it's a pride thing where the Elks, like, we're not going to stoop to more gimmicky levels. Like, they play games, they do all those fun things. It's just football is different, and you got to get creative to try and make it a better in-game environment for these people that chase that, as opposed to the hardcore, diehard football fans.
Tell you what, the kids on the field after games is a phenomenal.
It's an awesome thing to do, no doubt. But we can jump over to hockey as outside of the offer sheets getting matched this week for Leo Carlson and Barrett Hayton. Pretty quiet on the free agency and frenzy front following the opening of it on July 1st. Just a little prediction market here. I think the next prominent name of available remaining UFAs that will find himself a new deal, I'm going to the back end and kind of the main name that remains back there, and I think it's Logan Stanley, the towering defenseman who split last year between Winnipeg and Buffalo.
Woof. Out. That we're getting excited about Logan Stanley.
I'm not excited. I'm not excited.
No, sorry to say, like, excited, Brando, but like, out. I don't know. I'm curious to see how the Dylan Larkin situation devolves. Or
what kind of number do you think Stanley will fetch?
He's been in the league for
he's a savvy vet now.
He's just 28 years old. The size,
he's coming along. Like, there's a lot of
people.
people who are positive on the player. The size, I mean, can't coach that.
Is a Vinny Desharnais good comparable? Like $4.5 million
right in that range.
Big man.
I think that is what his camp will be using as the closest direct comparison. Right. And if he were to get $4 million or around that per year, I would not be surprised. Will someone give him 4 years of that number? I think if that were the case, he would have been signing on July 1 because the suitors would have been lined up. I could see more likely a 2-year deal, say at $3.5 to $4 million.
He's like a 6 or 7 defenseman. Like, it's
not. No, he's a depth guy. But he's the kind of top remaining D man out there. I mean, John Klingberg is kind of your hired offensive gun, certainly still exists. But I don't think most of these guys that are left are veteran players. And so I think like the Canes, the Johanssons, the Tarasenkos, JVRs, run down the list, David Perron, how Klingberg even, I can see these really stretching into closer to camp, how things flesh out, maybe even PTOs to go in to see how things, like how they fit with certain teams. Because I think that's just become more common for veterans in recent years. Even if there's teams interested in them, the players themselves might say, I'm going to hold back and feel it out and see if an injury develops for a team during camp or something, and then maybe search the best fit at that time. Whereas Stanley, like I said, he's the best defenseman left out there. Teams always need extra D-men, and the size, the defending, I think it's still a sought enough asset that he'll land somewhere sooner than later.
I think that's a fair statement. He's not a PTO guy at all.
No, I don't see that at this stage of his career. So we will see heading into the weekend if anything more exciting happens for us to discuss come Monday morning. Finally, tomorrow, July the 11th, 7-11, which of course is Slurpee Day. Head to your local Sev, fill your cup, walk out the door. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You take a little stroll with the whole gang, Eddie, tomorrow afternoon for some Slurps.
Bike gang.
Bike gang. How do you ride the bike home with the Slurpee?
I got the cup holder, and then I'll hold my daughters and my son. He's capable.
Oh, okay, right on.
Yeah.
Funny enough, we kind of talked about this yesterday with Laddie about flavors, and we used ice cream as the example where it's getting crazy how there's like a flavor that. How can you mimic that to now be into ice cream? And the same goes for potato chips. We use the bacon cheeseburger flavored potato chips. They taste nothing like bacon cheeseburgers. I think Slurpees are the food product that are best served and best lend themselves to the ever expanding list of flavors.
Oh.
I head into my Max, the 7-Eleven, Co-op gas station. They're all kind of right around me. I mix it up and check in on each one from time to time.
So you like to mix it up, huh?
Well, I'm traditionally and on this station, just like I'm a hardball down the middle. I love just a Pepsi Slurpee, straight up. I'm not making the swamp water, mixing a whole bunch together. I will say I have got a little more explorative, even just this summer, where I'll put a second flavor that I've never tried on the bottom half and then just top it with the Pepsi, so I know I'm still going to enjoy part of it no matter what.
Good strategy.
But you get they're kind of like these Sour Patch Kid flavors and the different lemonades, and they actually do taste like those things because it's just sugar and then artificial flavoring. It's the easiest thing to mimic and imitate. So that's why I think Slurpees, they can keep going crazy with all these flavors, and I won't be complaining maybe the same we did yesterday with the things of chips and ice cream.
But you got to keep it pretty simple. You can't mix too many flavors, otherwise it ends up swamp water. So if you're
people like that, which I just can't wrap my head around one bit.
It's just a weird mix by the end. And so like I like watermelon Slurpees, so I'll go mostly watermelon. Maybe like top it off with like a hint of Mountain Dew or like lime or something like that. But you get the full hit of the watermelon. It's like,
and then you get a little bit of crossover somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And you can kind of see, is this a good mix? Is this something that maybe you're creating the next great Slurpee flavor without even realizing it by mixing part of your Mountain Dew with watermelon?
I'm in.
And then you can finish it off with the Mountain Dew on top.
Yeah.
I'm going to be out. I'm pretty traditional when it comes to it.
What are you, cream soda guy?
I don't mind that. But I'm like a Sprite and a grape. Sprite mixed with a grape or
Okay, Sprite is good in Slurpee.
Eddie, come on, man.
Why are you laughing? Because it's so great.
You're making the Sprite and
color.
The grape
you shocked?
The Sprite and the grape combination. You're making this like you're
Give
teasing
me some chicken.
You're teasing me here. What are we talking about? Oh my god.
Where's the chicken?
That's a bit. You did that on purpose.
No, man, for real, dude.
Oh my god.
I call you something, huh?
Oh my
god. But you can't go wrong, man. Or watermelon, like you say, Tommy. Watermelon.
Eddie,
I love watermelon.
This is not intentional. And you talk about the watermelon thing. I've talked about this before too. There was a year on April Fools where I'm just so oblivious that it's April 1st. 7-Eleven put a tweet out or a Facebook post or something that said they're introducing a buffalo chicken wing flavored Slurpee. Blech. And I legit was like, I'd try that. I would try. and then I immediately was like, I'm like, this is crazy. Oh, this is an April Fool's joke.
Got him.
I'm an idiot. So right hand up.
Line and sinker. Buddy, you got us going. I like it. That was in or out. Brought to you by Pro Solutions. Eddie, a pleasure as all. This is awesome,
as always,
man. Hey, good insight into the game. Look forward to seeing you on Monday. So what's on tap for the weekend for you? Anything good?
Going down to shoot the Elks Nation pod right now with Deck. We're going to do our post game recap, and then I'm solo pops on the weekend. My wife's going on a little girls trip to BC, so yeah, I'm going to be with the kids, man, just grinding away.
Hey, make the most of it. I know it'll be a good one, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for everything.
See you, brother.
There you go, Eddie Steele. That is our first 2 hours of the show, man. It just flew by. Awesome text, a lot from all different angles. We're humming along very nicely on a Friday edition of the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. We got to get to the sports update. Thank you, Brandon. Yes, this one brought to you by Fusion Promo Marketing. Expand your brand. High-quality promotional products for businesses, sports updates, corporate events. Get noticed at fusionpromomarketing.ca. That's Fusion with a Z. All right, here he is, the Duke.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
CFL Week 6 kicking off last night from Commonwealth Stadium. The Elks topped the Red Blacks 40-17. Justin Rankin, another huge performance, 150 yards from scrimmage and 3 touchdowns in the victory. World Cup quarterfinals getting underway from Boston. France get a goal from Kylian Mbappe and another to beat Morocco 2-0 and advance through to the semifinals. And in the majors, full slate of games, no Blue Jays in action, however. Seattle, they get doubled up on by Miami 8-4. Yankees top Tampa 12-4. Red Sox over the White Sox 2-1. And the Orioles get past the Cubbies 3-2. From Remax Field, the Riverhawks take the rubber match over in Nanaimo by a score of 6-4. And in the CEBL last night, the Stingers fall to the Seabears in Winnipeg 97-93. Coming up in hour 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by Eric Stevens from The Athletic covering the NHL teams in Southern California. And we'll hear today's edition of Cam and Eggs. I'm Brandon Douglas, Sector Sports 1440 Update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping
frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
The Tom Gazzola Show. 60% talent, 40% Swedish hair cream. Edmonton's sports leader. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
Playlist Friday, Angel of Death. Yes, to kick off hour number 3 of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Check out Bet365's early payout for baseball. When your team goes up by 5 runs, you get paid out immediately. No stress about blowing a big lead. Download the app and see what early payouts all about. Bet365. We put a little sprinkle on Justin Rankin and the Elks yesterday. Did we hit?
Oh, yeah, Tom.
I hit on one.
I cleaned up last night.
Boom.
So Elks cover the points as we discussed on the show.
Yep.
6.5, right? So there's your
Big
standard
time.
-110 odds. This is the level where Justin Rankin has gotten to. And guess what? The books, including our friends at Bet365, have caught on. Opening week of the season, opening week, well, they were underdogs against the Red Blacks, which shocked me crazily at the time. Week 2, I got Justin Rankin to score 2 touchdowns in that game at +600 on Bet365. Last night, that same bet, +170.
Understandable.
Everyone has caught on to the Rankin MOP most exciting player. Forget most outstanding, most exciting player in the league. So, yeah, I had Rankin to score a couple, him to score 1, plus the Elks to cover, and then the Elks to cover as his own standalone, and obviously all 3 hit.
Mm-hmm.
My account is looking a lot more flush here on a Friday morning.
Ooh, he's brimming. That's good.
And because we talk about early payout, they have a similar thing in football too. Come NFL season, you can get early pay. I think it's by 17 points. If a team goes up, you get early payout on NFL games too.
Okay, I put down 3 bets for the football game yesterday, and I went 1 for 3. But what got me was the 57.5.
The total.
If that leak,
those 2 middle quarters not having a ton of action.
Otherwise they would have hit for. Listen, you got to be smart about it, obviously,
of course.
But a little sprinkle here. That I go like $5 bets.
Yeah, so it's all about knowing your limit, staying within it.
I like that. Yes.
And I'll say that another one of my favorite things about Bet365, they'll often have some pre-made little same game parlays and they'll boost the odds on them.
Yep.
So the one I saw, I feel silly for not going after it. and I'm just trying to think, trying to remember who scored all the touchdowns. I guess it wouldn't have hit actually, but odds were great. It was a Mac touchdown, a Rankin touchdown, and the Elks to win. That was paying at like 7-1.
Well, Mac is a go-to.
Well,
He's your
I mean,
number
like,
one.
and he
Yeah,
has
so I
another
get it.
unreal night. That one deep ball that he caught kind of down the sideline over by where the scene of the crime nearly happened. Just displaying that he's WR1. This is what the team needed to take that next step, and he's delivered for sure through 5 games.
There's a few texts that have come in that I'm laughing at. I'll get to them right now because we do have the Iceman cometh. Eric Stevens hopping on in a few minutes here. Oliver says Commonwealth needs a pressure wash, needs more banners, colors in the concourse. That I don't disagree with. And they're working on plans to get it refreshed and to put some money into making it a little bit nicer. That's no denying. I'm with you there, Oliver Steve. And then Slurpy Sean said that headbanger that we heard on the way into this segment has MTR written all over it. And then MTR, oddly enough, is talking about Slurpees. So it's funny how that all intertwines because Slurpy Sean is referencing MTR, who's talking about Slurpees, and Jason Strudwick, who, I don't know if you experienced this at 1260, Brandon, but he would always bring Slurpees in, especially in the summer, like once or twice a week with like candies dumped into them.
So really quickly, that 1 week I was at 1260 learning under the con man, and then Connor's getting married. I worked the show for him a couple days. Struddy and Gregor both came in studio, which wasn't super common at that time because it was still sort of fresh out of COVID. They're still doing it from home a lot. They both come in, and I kind of gave the gears to Struddy the one day during a 5 questions thing where I was talking about, favorite Star Wars or iconic movies, whatever. And he said his favorite movie in the entire Star Wars franchise was the Han Solo movie. And I said, Struddy, that has got to be the worst answer I've ever heard. Like, that thing is critically and commercially panned. Like, it's terrible. And he says, he's like, well, I'm not bringing you a Slurpee tomorrow now.
Wow.
So he held some resentment over my distaste for his answer. But he never brought me a Slurpee, but that's all I ever heard was that, Struddy brings Slurpees all the time.
The Han Solo movie, I understand why they did it. It was not well executed. The reshoots and all that, it was a disaster. Rogue One, on the other hand, was phenomenal. And then Kyle also getting in there says, MTR, that has Kyle written all over it. And he was the one who asked for Angel of Death by Slayer to bring us into this segment. Playlist Friday, if you have a song request, fire that at 1-833-401-1440. We do need to step up because when we come back, we're going to talk to Eric Stevens, the Leo Carlson signing yesterday, the match from the Anaheim Ducks and the fallout from that. We'll talk to Eric coming up right after this here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
You may get up early, but more than likely, the team at GS Construction have already gotten up before you, grabbed a coffee, headed to the site, and started their day. So while Edmonton wakes up, GS crews are already underground, quietly keeping things moving, upgrading, and laying the new underground infrastructure for our growing city. If you're the kind of person who goes to sleep with their steel-toed boots on, GS Construction wants to hear from you. We're looking for a maintenance foreman as well as a building and yard attendant. Visit gsconstruction.ca for more.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Summer weekends in Alberta mean one thing: tournament season.
I brought the folding chairs. I brought the sunscreen. I brought the umbrella, just in case.
But who brought the snacks to get through a doubleheader?
I got Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, the ultimate sideline fuel. Whether you're cheering on the kids or watching the pros, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you can't have summer fun with salad.
only available in Leduc.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
And 22 on a pleasant Friday. A lot of laughs today, which is fantastic. I like the good vibes. I really, really do. Tom Gazzola, Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick in studio. I saw the G-Man. We're going to golf with him in about 38 minutes time. He's getting all set. Looking forward to Gary Myers stepping into the studio. My first golfing with the G-Man hour. A big thank you to Eddie Steele. Fantastic 2 hours to kick off the show with him. And great guests so far. We had Tyler Yaremchuk from Daily Faceoff and Oilers Nation. We had my good friend and colleague Rod Smith, who I love talking to from the CFL on TSN. And then this gentleman who's going to be in for the Puck Report, Eric Stevens, the Iceman Cummins. Great guy covering the LA area and its teams in the National Hockey League for The Athletic. He is ready to rock as we get to the Puck Report, brought to you by the World Rugby Nations Cup, fresh off that 42-42 draw against Spain last weekend. Canada's men's rugby team will battle Portugal this Saturday, 7 p.m., Clark Stadium. Spain plays Tonga earlier in the afternoon. One ticket gets you both games, so get your tickets at Ticketmaster. And look forward to seeing how our Canadian men's rugby side does in good old our town. So if you want to go check out some fantastic international rugby action, Clark Stadium this weekend, the 2-for-1 deal can't go wrong, especially if the weather is good. All right, let's bring in Eric Stevens from The Athletic. Hello, Eric. How are you, sir? Thanks for being on my show for my very first week on this show in the morning on 1440. It's always great to talk to you. How are we doing?
I'm doing well, Tom. Hey, I tell you what, much congratulations to you. It's well deserved here, and I know I've been on with Kevin before, and it was tremendous as well. But certainly, congrats to you, man.
Too kind.
Really appreciate it.
You're the best, and I appreciate it as well. All right, lots of news with the Ducks, obviously, and basically they're stealing the headlines. The Flyers were also stealing the headlines with the offer sheet, and then Leo Carlson. When the Ducks matched yesterday, what was your reaction to it? I don't know how you let a guy like that walk away, but there's ramifications here. So how do you interpret everything that went down and then the end result?
Yeah, you know what? It's a great question, Tom, and it's something too because obviously Leo himself, Pat Verbeek, a lot the main particulars whatsoever are obviously going to say all the right things and in the aftermath, but my main takeaway is that the Ducks had to match. I mean, I thought even when it dropped, yes, it's a financial, burden, whatever word you want to use, that they have right now. And they still got to get Cutter Gauthier signed, which they do want to do. But, the number that he comes in is going to push them easily over the cap, and they're going to have to move salary. They're going to have to move out a player. There's just, there's no other option here, really. But, Leo Carlsson is the kind of player that you hope for and that you want to have, that as Pat Verbeek said yesterday, that they don't come around that often.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, a lot of people are going to focus on, well, this is a player that, he just had 67 points last year, he's not an $18 million player right now. The bet is with the Ducks is that Leo Carlsson is going to be an elite center in this league and is going to be one of the very best players in the NHL. And as you look at how salaries have moved up here and what top players are going to command, the bet and the hope is that he's going to be that type of player, and that this $18 million number, is going to be looked at it down the line as commensurate with what top players will make.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Cutter Gauthier, and I know that's the next order of business. And it was a talking point on this show yesterday when the news broke that the Ducks had matched. Is this a scenario? And I know they have $9 million right now in projected cap space on Puckpedia right now, but is this a scenario where Pat Verbeek can go to Gauthier and say, hey, man, I'm sorry, here's our circumstance. We'll give you this for now, and then we'll make up for it in the next contract. And we saw that here in Edmonton on a much smaller scale a few years ago with Ryan McLeod, where Ken Holland went out and he took care of the quote unquote more important pieces and gave them the money that they needed. And then he was able to kind of tell McLeod in his camp, listen, I'll get you next time. Can the Ducks do that with Gauthier, who kind of forced his way out of Philly and kind of dictated where he ended up playing? What do you think about that scenario, Eric?
Yeah, you know what? It is one that I thought of. And like you said, the McLeod example, I remember a number of years ago with San Jose, if you recall, again, a much smaller example, but they had a winger, Kevin LeBanc,
yes,
who Doug Wilson, basically, said, okay, for 1 year, can we do this real cheap, contract so that we can, make everything work, cap wise financially. And then he took care of them with a much larger deal in that following year. In this case, I don't see that occurring. Well, number one, I mean, Cutter Gauthier is represented by Kurt Overhart. I don't see where Cutter and Kurt and would agree to something to where Pat comes to them and says, hey, look, this is what the deal is. Can we make it all work in this coming year? And then and then do the big monster deal next year. Plus, things can happen as well, in the meantime too. Say, for instance, if Cutter were to get hurt, or so, or not live up or not have the kind of year that he had last year whatsoever, there could be some shifting dynamics as well. So I can't really see that occurring. I also can't really see too what occurring, which would be, the Ducks considering trading Gauthier, because let's face it, I mean, they traded Jamie Drysdale for him, when Cutter wanted out of Philadelphia, and that's a trade that they would do 10 times over, if not 50 times over.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do believe, where, they're going to find a way to, get his contract, get his extension done, unless say, for instance, the ask is we're in the Leo range or whatsoever. I don't. That's not going to happen. Leo Carlson is that contract has set their salary structure for the next decade, if not 15, 20 years or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So if it comes, I'm sure that they would love for it to come in at say around 12 or so. That maybe that's what they would prefer even lower, certainly. But I think if you were to come in around, I think that's a manageable thing to where they can try to move out, say, a Frank Vetrano, or even, if you want to think, extrapolate further, perhaps an Alex Killorn or a Chris Kreider or so. They certainly wouldn't want to do those. I think the Vetrano salary is one that they would easily prefer to move and, perhaps attach a sweetener to in order to get a team to take on his contract and give him a fresh start elsewhere. That would be the thing to alleviate it. But no, I think on both sides of it, I think they're going to want to get this extension done. I can't see a scenario to where, they have a handshake deal where they, say, hold off and, just, get something at much lower value this year and then address it further.
It's the Puck Report. Eric Stevens joining us from The Athletic, covering the Ducks and the Kings in LA and the area. The way this situation played out, how it was handled, has it left Ducks fans sour about how they should feel about Pat Verbeek and the way he is running this operation right now? Because a lot was made of him saying, we'll match anything. And then boom, Danny Briere is like 18 mil. And now all of a sudden we're talking about the fallout and ripple effect. Like what's your take on that element of this? Because there are some people that are like, Pat Verbeek did not play his cards right here.
Yeah, no, and many feel this way, and most feel this way, and I would say that they, by and large, are right to feel this way. I do know, and Pat indicated on his conference call yesterday that he did, go to Leo's camp in September last year, and try to get something done then. And I know that there were talks even last summer when he was first eligible for an extension last July. Obviously, they did not get very far with those. They got Jackson LaCombe done last September, but they weren't able to get Leo done. So there were attempts. The one thing that I think maybe should be kind of corrected whatsoever is the thought that Pat didn't even try to sign Leo last summer.
Okay.
That there were attempts to do that. However, what I think that he could be faulted for and blamed for is really not anticipating or not believing in the earning potential for young RFAs, for players that have put up numbers very early in their career. And remember, they brought him along right in the very first year. He's been with them 3 years. He's put up numbers, and he has massive potential.
Yep.
The fact that they did not see that kind of earning potential with the cap rising as it has, and jumping out ahead of that, and jumping out with a very strong offer from the get-go, in order for Leo's camp to say, look, okay, they believe in you. They really believe in you. If they had came out with, say, an 8-year, $12 million, a deal last summer, I've got to think that there would have been a strong chance that Leo's camp would have accepted it, that number at that time.
Yeah.
And if it's revisionist history, obviously, at this point. But if you think of it that way, that's $6 million of cap space, and that's a lot more flexibility that they would have been dealing with. And also, if you have him locked in at that number whatsoever, then maybe Cutter's on his extension would come in at a lower number.
Absolutely.
So I think that's where he can be. Yeah, and so I think that's where he can be faulted. But Pat's probably not the only one that really didn't foresee what the earning potential would be for top RFAs in this climate.
Well said. Eric, let's shift gears to the other team in the LA area. That is the Kings. And I know you spent more time covering them lately, but obviously with everything that's gone on with the Ducks, you've had to focus on what they've been doing. But in LA and Ken Holland and him going into his second year as GM of that team, what's he doing? Do you have a read on his game plan? That's kind of been what everyone's wondering is like, what are they doing in LA? Corey Perry's back. They brought in Eric Gustafson, Zuccarello, who's obviously a little long in the tooth. They got him at a very reasonable rate. Eric Holla, I think that's a wily pickup. But can you just make sense of the LA Kings for us, please?
Well, I tell you what, if you want to get all your old age jokes in right now, that's something that you can do. You wonder if they all can qualify for the senior discount over at Denny's.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think it's just evident. I mean, there's a bigger question here that really doesn't get addressed much whatsoever, and what it is whether this franchise should really consider a real retool, because it does sit in the mushy middle right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have a win now philosophy. The problem is that they haven't won nearly enough now, and the roster overall doesn't match up with other top teams in the Western Conference here. It just doesn't.
No.
Now saying that, I do believe that for the relatively limited amount of cap space that LA had, this summer, excuse me, I think that Ken did. Let's just say, I would say that his off season is better. What he did with what he had available is better than what he did, the first go around, last year. As you mentioned, with Holla, with bringing back Corey Perry, some of the signings that he had are Matt Zuccarello. They are cost effective. And if they can squeeze out, some more quality play from these veterans here, then, there could be the makings of something. But, they're still in that realm where they've got to have a lot of things break their way to really, really contend for, say, the Pacific Division lead or to push up into that category of elite teams, here in the West here. They're going to need a bounce back, year from Darcy Kemper. I think Ken's probably best move over the summer was re-upping Brant Clark for 5 years at a number that, I think, could be good in time, especially if Peter Laviolette, goes through and is able to go through what will be kind of a systemic change for them. This should be a team that's going to push up the ice more, be more in attack mode than they have been.
Finally.
Exactly. And Brant Clark has been one to where you wonder, when are they going to unleash him? Well, Peter Laviolette has a well-known history with activating his defensemen, whether, you think of Roman Josi in Nashville, you think of Adam Fox, in New York. I mean, it goes to, to way back when to some of his previous teams as well. So to me, that's what I want to see going into this year is how much of a stylistic change are they going to do? How much are they going to let, kind of take the shackles off Brant Clark? And see where that gets. Does that guarantee success? No, it doesn't, because typically that will pull them out of their comfort zone in being more of a defensive-oriented team. But it is a team that needs to change something.
Yeah.
And so, with some of the moves that they were made, I thought the moves that they had, with the limited cap space that they had, by and large, I think they were fine. I just think that there's more of a bigger philosophical correction or question as to really what should be the right direction the Kings go. But right now they've committed to it, and they've committed to it with experience this year.
As some people in oil country like to say, Connor McDavid and the Oilers broke them. They broke the Kings, and now they got to figure it out. Eric, thanks for this, man. Always appreciate talking to you. If I don't catch up with you sometime this summer, we'll see you in the fall when we're back at it.
Most definitely, Tom. Congrats again.
Thank you, sir. There's Eric Stevens. Fantastic as always from The Athletic. And that is the Puck Report, brought to you by World Rugby Nations Cup. Go see Canada take on Portugal this Saturday. Big thank you to him for hopping on. We do need to get to Cam and Eggs in our next segment. You can text us 1-833-401-1440. Hello to those watching on YouTube. I popped into the chat really quickly. Just saw we got some good text coming in. It's been a fun Friday show. Vibes are high. We've got the G-Man coming up. We're going to go golfing with Gary Meyer right away in hour number 4. But Cam and Eggs on the way with Cam Tate. And before that, a quick break here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
The Riverhawks are back, and the fun is too. Catch Italian Plumber Video Game Night, Star Wars with a post-game fireworks show, and kids crash the park Sunday with a poster giveaway presented by Save On Foods. Bring the family. Kids tickets from $10 at GoHawks.ca.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The world's biggest soccer tournament is here. When the match is on, you call the shots. Whether it's a parlay after working all day or a straight bet and straight to bed, Betway has what it takes for you to bet the Edmonton way. So when it's your turn to play the Edmonton way with Betway. Play responsibly. Alberta only. 18+.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. Standard message and data rates may apply.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Calling all animal lovers. Grab your leash, gather your family, and join Subaru and Scars for the 22nd annual Tails on the Trails Family Fun Day and Pledge Walk, Saturday, July 11th at Lions Park. Bring your furry best friend and enjoy a day packed with fun, including a 2.5 or 5 kilometer pledge walk, great vendors, silent auction items, a barbecue, and even pet-friendly beer gardens. Join Subaru on July 11th at Lions Park, St. Albert. We'll see you at Tails on the Trail, sponsored by Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon.
It's finally time to escape your four walls and see where your four wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
The Tom Gazzola Show. Oiler insider and Jersey aficionado. Edmonton's sports leader. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
$9:46. Hope you're doing well out there. Welcome back to the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. Tom, Brandon, Josh in studio. Hopefully it's going to be a lovely weekend, and we'll send you off into the weekend with good vibes. I hope. That's the goal, at least. Keep the conversation going, 1-833-401-1440. Tons of great texts from all sides on all kinds of things. Lots of stuff about getting to Commonwealth Stadium, and I love it. I love it. The passion is good, and we like to see that. People care whether they are mad about something or happy about something. They give a damn, and I appreciate that very, very much. We do need to get to Cam and Eggs. Cam did send it in. I got the email. Good morning, Cam. Hope you're doing well. Cam Tate. He says, David Letterman style. I do recall David Letterman. I did watch him quite a bit. I hope I do Cam and Eggs justice because I'm reading this cold. Cam did not put it through the AI machine with the voice track. So wish me luck, boys. Here we go. Cam and Eggs. Edmonton Elks monologue, David Letterman style. Roughly 2 minutes he has in there. Here we go. You know, I've never had breakfast with Edmonton Elks coach Mark Killam, but I'm going to tell you something. If I did have breakfast with him this morning, it would not be a joyful celebration. It would not be waffles and mimosas, folks. No. Because yes, the Elks beat the Ottawa Red Blacks yesterday 40-17. 23 points. That's great. That's not nothing. But I'm telling you, if you pass those numbers by Coach Killam while he was eating his eggs, the guy would choke on his coffee. He'd cut his pancakes with pure anger. The salt and pepper shakers, they would not survive that breakfast. There would be casualties. Here's why. The Elks won, sure. But there were more red flags than a Trump administration press conference. I said it. The guy's from New York. He gets it. See, Justin Rankin scores a touchdown on the very first drive. The first drive, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be an offensive explosion. Buckle up, folks. Load the cannons, and then nothing. Nothing happens. The Elks scored exactly 2 points in the entire first half against the winless Ottawa Red Blacks. The winless team. I looked it up. That's like me going to a golf tournament to watch professionals and shooting a better score than Tiger Woods' nephew. It shouldn't be possible. Now, to their credit, and this is real, they absolutely showed up in the fourth quarter. 24 points, 24. Rankin's doing his thing. The offense finally found the pilot light, and boom, got yourself a win. But here's what I'm picturing. Coach Killam, he's not sleeping in this morning. He's up at 5 a.m. He's already got the film on. His toast is burnt. His coffee's cold because he knows there's work to do, real work. He's sitting there thinking, we could have put up 80 on these guys if we just shown up for the first 30 minutes. That's not a breakfast situation. That's a film study situation. That's a leave me alone until I figured out what the hell happened in the second quarter situation. So yes, they won. Yes, 40-17. Yes, that's real. Yes, that's a victory. You can't take that away. But Coach Killam, he's not thinking about victory right now. He's thinking about survival. He's thinking about how close they came to being the team that almost lost to Ottawa. The winless Ottawa Red Blacks. And you know what? Maybe that's the breakfast he needs. No celebration pancakes. No attaboy French toast. Just black coffee, burnt toast, and a hard look in the mirror. Because here's the thing. In this league, moral victories don't get you drafted first overall, and ugly wins don't make you sleep better at night. They just give you more film to watch, more problems to fix, more reasons to be sitting in that dark film room at 5 a.m. while your eggs get cold. So if Coach Killam and I ever do have breakfast together, I'm going to suggest we skip the restaurant. Let's just meet him in that film room. bring a granola bar, bring some patience, because that man is going to be working. And frankly, after watching that first half, I don't blame him one bit. That's a win in the CFL, folks, when you're too busy fixing problems to celebrate. That's Cam and Eggs from Cam Tate. Cam, I hope I read that properly and did it justice. So Cam, a little critical of the Double E's victory last night.
Not quite as sunshine and rainbows as our Eddie Steele was this morning.
No, and Eddie, I was pretty like, hey, they did it.
I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I understand and agree with a lot of what Cam said, but you did open the tap in the fourth quarter and pour it on and say, okay, yeah, we need to get it figured out. So, but I guess what was the total time elapsed between touchdowns scored? Because they scored on the first drive of the game, and then on another touchdown to the first drive of the fourth quarter.
And then Ottawa crept back in.
Yeah.
And they had a little bit more possession. It honestly felt in that third quarter like the Elks didn't really have the ball time. I know they got that late drive.
Yeah.
But for the majority of it, was like Ottawa's.
So one question I wanted to ask you, Tom, because I asked the same thing to Declan in the press box, and I know we want to talk a little hoop with Fenny here before we jump to the top of the hour. The end of the half possession. So because we know the Elks had it, there's 30 seconds left.
Yep.
They end up kicking the field goal. Elks turn it over. Red Blacks turn it over. Elks come back and kick another field goal.
Yep.
It was a kind of nice little double dip there. But because it was after the O'Leary Orange 90-yard catch and run down to the red zone. Little kind of bobbled handoff between Fajardo and Rankin led to loss of yardage. Then you're on second down. You throw it. Great throw. Perfectly put ball. Can't remember what receiver it was. Might have been Mac. Couldn't quite come down with it. Heavily covered. I wanted them to go for it on third down. I wanted them to try a run play again on second down, and then throw the ball on third down if necessary.
I understand. I wonder if they kind of had the confidence in knowing that if they played it conservatively in that moment, they knew
could
they were
still
get
the
their
ball
chance.
back.
Yeah, that would be my question. Is did they think, all right, defense will get it if we turn it over, or if we just
and I mean, even if you don't expect to get the ball back, because you're on what was it, the 8?
Yeah.
I mean, so even if you turn it over there, you're left 3 less points. Sure. It ended up being they gained 6 total because of the turnover the other way. But you're asking them, the Red Blacks, whose offense has been inept at that point, to go 100 yards in 30 seconons.
At that point, I would have all the confidence in the world in my defense.
It's right. So I would have liked them to go for it. And like I said, when I talked with Declan, he agreed he's go for it on third down. He liked the play call, the pass, because I mean, it worked. The guy, like I said, it was a great throw, perfectly placed ball, just couldn't quite come down with it, the receiver. But I think if they hadn't lost yardage on the first handoff, I think they maybe would have. But all of a sudden, you're staring at it where you're 2 more yards back.
Yep.
I understand, but I would have liked it because the red zone has been a little bit of a problem. Converting down inside. So
work in progress.
I
get it. Benny, let's bring you in here because the Kawhi trade has been paused. Let's get onto this real quick.
Yeah, so the Kawhi trade's paused because for those of you that don't know, allegedly, as brought out by Pablo Torre about 10 months ago, it was found that Kawhi Leonard was likely being paid under the table from the Clippers after he took a pay cut, essentially.
That's bad, right?
That's bad. That is bad, Tom. Good work. From Aspiration, which is a tree company, planting company. And the word that everyone else is given that the guy that started it, oh, well, he defrauded everybody. Like, this is just a thing that happened, whatever. This is 10 months on. This hasn't been resolved yet because, and I will remember this vividly, I just parked my car. I got a Twitter notification. I was like, oh, this is Adam Silver, day of, giving like the NBA's response to, hey, we see what's going on with this aspiration situation. Like, we're on it. Nope, they announced the new All-Star game format. He could have been on this 10 months ago, but alas, he was not. So now the Raptors trade has been paused because they were given the option, essentially, all right, well, you can deal with the burden of all the Kawhi stuff when we dole out punishments, if we dole out punishments, and you'll feel the wrath of that because he will be a Toronto Raptor. And they said, you know what? You're right. We'll pause. And so technically Kawhi Leonard is still a Los Angeles Clipper until the NBA finishes their investigation and goes, well, Kawhi has done wrongdoing, the Clippers have done wrongdoing, or everybody was defrauded by, I believe his name was Joe Morgan, was the guy that started this aspiration tree company, planting company.
Isn't it affiliated with Bulmer, though?
Ballmer is believe part owner of the Aspiration Tree Company planting company. So that's where they're like, oh yes, he's taking payments under the deal because Kawhi was a spokesperson that got paid $18 million or something by this company so everybody looks pretty guilty in this. Even like Kawhi, his uncle was his agent who apparently set this up, and he has cut ties and has a new agent.
Oh, really?
So this is him sort of trying to shift the blame. But I mean, if you ask me, everyone's guilty as hell. And Kawhi won't be a Raptor next year. But at the end of the day, Adam Silver could have put this to bed a long time ago, but instead he was too focused on fixing the All-Star game. They never put out an official release for weeks. And so this is just dragged on way longer than it should have. And yes, the NBA poorly run, just like every other major sport.
Listen, so Raptors fans are probably pissed off.
Oh, probably. You still have things to look forward to. Unfortunately, you do still have Brandon Ingram on the roster. And now, like, if Kawhi does get, I don't know, a year-long suspension from the league or something like that, I imagine this trade will be nixed, vetoed, whatever. And now you have Brandon Ingram on the roster who just got traded. And you're supposed to be like, no, man. Like, everything's okay. Everything's, guy, hey, you know what? We love you. We absolutely love you. This is just a whole conundrum. And as excited as I was for Kawhi, I'm like, this has to get done. And I would say, if I could bet on it, Kawhi Leonard will not be a Raptor next season.
Jeez. Thank you for updating us on that.
Thanks for bringing me in. I appreciate it.
So eloquently put. I appreciate that. All right. We need to get to a sports update. We do have the G-Man, and we're going to go golfing with him in our final hour here on the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. And this sports update comes to you via AWS Welding Supplies in Nisku. Product sales, servicing, calibrating, and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. Your one-stop shop for all things welding. AWSwelding.ca. Here's Brando.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Quarterfinals at the World Cup continuing this afternoon with Spain taking on Belgium from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Kickoff coming at 1 o'clock Mountain. CFL week number 6 continuing tonight. The Argonauts in Winnipeg to take on the Blue Bombers. Newly acquired Drew Brown set to start under center for Winnipeg. Kickoff coming 6:30. And in the majors, full slate of games, once again, including the Blue Jays opening a set in San Diego against the Padres. Shane Bieber on the hill for Toronto. JP Sears countering the lefty for San Diego. And first pitch coming 7:40 Mountain. You can catch that game right here on Sports 1440. WCL action. The Riverhawks continue their homestand with a game against the Marion Berries, visiting Remax Field for the first time. First pitch just after 7:05. Coming up in hour 4 of the Tom Gazzola Show, we'll be joined by a longtime golf pro, Gary Meyer, as well as director of golf at Kananaskis Country Golf Club, Bob Paley. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is on now at The Brick. Save big on top appliance brands throughout the store. Buy more and save more, up to $1,000 off qualifying appliance packages. Plus, take until 2030 to pay with no interest on appliances OAC with Flexity. If you find a lower advertised price on appliances, The Brick will beat it. And check out deals for the rest of your home, like up to 33% off sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Greger for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Grove Rotary Rib Fest is on all this weekend in Central Park, Spruce Grove. It's mouth-watering ribs, plus live entertainment, the Canada Hot Tub and Swim Spa Expo, and much more. Grove Rotary Rib Fest, brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires in Spruce Grove. Tickets on site now.
Hey, Canada. Wednesday, July 15th is Tim's Camp Day. When you buy a hot or iced coffee, you help build a better future for Canadian youth. Every cup counts. At participating restaurants in Canada.
The Tom Gazzola Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we're here to stay.
Final hour of the Tom Gazzola Show, brought to you by Bet365. We're going to go golfing with the G-Man. Bet365, by the way. Canada just hit the biggest home run of the summer. Bet365 is available in Alberta and here to stay. Download the app. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Gary Myers in from the Country Club Tour. Our first golfing with the G-Man together. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm excited, Tom. I'm, ready to roll. I'm a lot more excited than Cam Tate. Hey, Tate.
Yeah.
Hey, Tate, lighten up. Jeez. It's
Feisty,
like
huh?
you got gum on your wheel or something. Give me a break.
He hates when that happens.
I know.
He hates when that
I
happens.
just slap him around a little bit when I see him.
Well, him and I trade barbs because he's feisty.
He is.
He's feisty.
Boy, he's and sharp. I mean, what a wit.
He's great.
And
I love
yeah,
him.
a good guy. I've told him this a number of times. Tate, I'm going to take you out in the middle of a dirt field and leave you for dead. So yeah, he was all twisted and bent on, they won. Okay.
They won.
Have an
Convincingly.
egg. Yeah, geez.
All right. Well, I'll let you two hash that out. The CCT, by the way, 7 courses. The indoor facilities, I go to them in the winter. Always a great time. We do our Gazzola Boys golf on Sundays at CCT on Kingsway.
Nice.
And always a great time. Good atmosphere, good food, good drinks. Beer's always cold.
Well, you know what? Sam Musa, who owns the company and just a great guy. And I'll tell you what, he does everything first class. There's no doubt about it. And it's a bargain when you get the membership. You know what? In Hurstbourne, at the Hurstbourne Country Club Championship Chorus in Louisville, Kentucky.
Tell me more.
At this point, looks like Lucas Glover minus 10 after 11. I don't know if that's changed. Canadians in there. Let's see. AJ Ewert as -4. Silverman was -5. Looks like he's dropped back. Adam Hadwin's there. Mackenzie Hughes. So yeah, it's a smaller field. It's they call it the ISCO, and that stands for International Standard Classification of Occupations. Now, it used to be called the Barbasol Open.
I know Barbasol.
Yeah. Well, 1919, they were the first brushless shaving green company. For those of you who are old enough, you can remember that blue juice that used to sit on the counter at the barber shop. And at one time, I used to go to the barber shop. Now I just use a wiener to comb my hair. And Barbasol was also, if you remember, in Jurassic Park when Newman, was trying to steal those eggs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see, what else do I have for you?
Well, I kind of wanted to talk about Newman and Dotson. We got Dotson here.
Oh.
See, nobody cares.
Oh.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Look at how we intertwine this. Fenny's going, what the hell is happening right now?
Not Jurassic Park. Guys.
He's only watched Jurassic World.
Oh, well, it's probably
Dominion.
past his time.
While Gary flips through his 100 pages of notes, I forgot to mention it to Tom. We're teeing up the liner for CCT, as we do every Friday. 4 passes to give away to the CCT,
which is awesome.
Now, we usually entrust Gary to come up with some very difficult and creative trivia question related to golf.
Okay.
If he has one, I know he's very sharp. He's very quick. We can give him a few minutes to determine it. But yeah, our texter is 1-833-414-40. They can text in the answer, correct answer, that is. And we will pick amongst the correct answers a winner. And you'll get yourself 4 passes, you and 3 friends, to go and play at any of the 7 country club tour courses this summer.
Okay.
Before we derailed you. All right.
Yeah. Do you want the question?
You got it?
I just rolled one off.
He's ready. Let's see. Look at that guy.
What is the oldest golf course in Canada? Now it'll probably define it still operating, but we're good with the oldest golf course in Canada.
Oh. I have a question for you, but I'll wait till the break because I don't want to maybe give away the answer. I might be wrong, though, but I'm sure you'll have the answer for me. I like that question. What is the oldest golf course in Canada for a 4 pass to the CCT?
Now we were talking about Hurstbourne Country Club in Louisville, 7,328 yards. It's got a 60-room clubhouse, so it's a pretty big operation. And do you know Louisville is 163 miles from what famous place in Kentucky? Didn't know. How about
the home of the state capital?
Oh no, I thought you were the home of. You're going to be close. 163 miles from Louisville is Corbin, Kentucky, which is the home.
Jack Daniels.
That's in Tennessee. That's in Lynchburg.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Oh boy,
Tom. No joke. That is the first place my mind went, but then,
okay,
call it Kentucky Mash, but it's Tennessee bourbon.
Yeah, that's my bad.
Well, how about Harland David Sanders?
Oh,
the Colonel.
The Colonel.
The Colonel with his wee beady eyes. Oh, you're going to buy me chicken. Anyway,
That's Austin Powers, Fenny.
1890. No, that was from... So I married an axe murderer.
Okay, well, basically, fat bastard.
Gary's Scottish accent is the same.
Pretty much burying Tom here on the facts, eh?
Well, okay, but fat bastard and Mike Myers' character's father, who's played by Mike Myers, it's the same accent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, he is Scottish. He's got some Scottish background, not like Bob Michael, the session drummer, and one of Edmonton's top, I think he's a recording artist now.
Okay.
Anyway, so Corbin, Kentucky, in the 40s is where the Colonel got started. He was born in 1890. Did you know that he was living in Canada for 15 years in Mississauga? Go ahead.
In Calgary at some point? Is
Is
there a Calgary connection to the Colonel?
Well,
am I jumping ahead of myself?
No. What the Colonel did is he sold his franchise rights in the U.S.
Okay.
But he kept them in Canada, so he moved to Mississauga, where he lived for 15 years. He was in Louisville when he died.
Okay.
But he did live in Mississauga, so he kept on top of things here. One of the things that really bugged him is when they changed the gravy. So you guys aren't old enough to remember the real gravy from
I know
Kentucky
the green
Fried Chicken.
coleslaw.
Is this like one of your, like the same thing when people tell me I don't know the real taste of Coca-Cola because it doesn't have cocaine in it anymore? Like same idea.
Yeah, but that
it was literal crack gravy that they were trotting out the door at the local Colonel's establishment.
No, I think it was 1913 that they last used cocaine in Coca-Cola. I was watching it on TV the other day.
What a high.
But yeah. Anyway, the Colonel was broke when he was 65, 3.5 million when he died. The company's only worth 22 billion now.
Wow.
I don't know if a guy could squeeze by on that kind of money.
Mm.
The Harlan Sanders Cafe and Museum. It's nationally registered on historic places. And yes, the Colonel did play golf, as a matter of fact. He wasn't very good. Those grips were always, he couldn't hold, his hands were greasy from the chicken. And
of course.
Yeah. So there was that. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah. So when he went back to the States and was, looking at what they were doing with the gravy, he said, it tasted like wallpaper paste, and he would throw it on the floor and scream and yell, but they figured it was easier because they used the real drippings from the chicken to make the old gravy. Like you used to get just gravy and some buns.
Okay.
Oh,
I remember this. My grandparents loved KFC. For them, if they were going to go out somewhere or get something ordered in, because old Italian people, they're like, we're getting KFC. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
My grandpa was the same way. It was like his favorite. He loved KFC.
Yeah.
Oh, well, when we lived on the farm, when we lived on the farm, my dad, because I'm 70 years old, my dad brought chicken home from KFC. I think there was one place in Edmonton you could get it. Well, it was unbelievable. It's like we won the lottery. I think I ate the bucket. I mean, everything.
A bucket absorbs a lot of grease.
That's right. A buddy of mine, Mark Gramlich, used to eat the bones, all of them. He was like a farm dog.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Ashley, over there in Windermere. Hope the woodpecker's been put to sleep. The woodpecker's been pounding on the side of their house for about 3 years now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, putting holes in it. So I said, well, you should maybe put some holes in the woodpecker. But apparently you can't do that. But Daryl was going to shoot it, but he couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a handful of rice. Or he couldn't hit a mule in the ass with a banjo. How about that?
Both work for me.
Don't be afraid
Honestly,
to use
both work for me.
Yeah,
Yep.
any of those.
I will.
But hey, we're going to be talking to Paley here pretty quick.
Okay.
Up at Kananaskis. We know they had a little bit of flooding up there. There was quite a buildup of silt, apparently. That's the big thing up there, that when it spills over. And they did all that drainage when they redid the golf course. And I want to talk to them about that and find out how they're getting that silt out of there, because it gets down into the drainage tile.
Yep.
And then you got trouble. You got to get it out of there.
Oh, geez.
And if it was me, you'd use a hydrovac, but you're not going to drive a hydrovac out in the golf course to suck those drains out. So we'll find out.
From Bob Paley, he's coming up here as we golf with the G-Man. Yeah, I've never golfed out there. My dad would always do golf trips with his buddies to Kananaskis before the floods and then obviously the rebuild. But I know we'll talk to Bob, but how has it been since they've rebuilt everything out there?
I went up just after they had sodded the first course. I think it was Lorette. It could have been Kidd. And it was absolutely stunning. The color of the grass, with the contrast of the white sand and the traps.
Love that.
It was just spectacular. And the other thing too, they rolled it out just like it was round bales. I mean, they were huge, these big rolls of sod. And when you drive a golf cart on most golf courses, it'll want to kind of take off each direction.
Yep.
There it is just as straight as a string. I mean, it is so pure. There's no bumps, humps, or anything. It is, yeah.
I'm looking at photos of it. It's just beautiful, man.
Well, they come from all over the world. I mean,
as they should.
Yeah, you play up there. Also, I wanted to talk to him a little bit about what goes on up there when they have these summits and everything, when all the government people come pouring in up there and shut everything down and
stuff.
Yeah, I know Trump was up there. I don't think he played. He may have. But
I mean, he finds a way to golf. I'll tell you what.
Yep, and good on him. You know,
great game to play.
That's right. The game you can play all the way through your life. You know, and you can play with anybody. That's why they've got a handicap system that kind of makes it fair. And yeah, I mean, it's a great game of a lifetime. Game of a lifetime.
What about the Scottish Open here, Gary? They're talking about like Scheffler.
Well, that's where most of the guys are over there because the one in Louisville is only $4 million.
Yeah,
that they're playing with chump change. I think,
which is crazy to say. I know when Liv came in, they had to that kind of forced the PGA to juice up the purses every weekend. But
yeah,
but when guys are going to different tournaments on certain weekends, I mean,
yeah. Well, the Scottish Open is a big part because from there they go on to the British Open.
Yeah,
you know, the Open Championship. But $4 million, I mean, you know, that's the kind of money that was their signing bonus to come here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. When they got rid of old Devin Harrias.
That guy.
Harrias. Yeah. I don't know where he went. I'll never forget old, what's his name? He was really something.
If Scheffler does miss this cut though, like how much of a shock would that be? 4 years he hasn't missed one.
Yeah. I don't see it. What did he shoot? First round?
What do we got here? 2 over 72.
Oh, okay.
Two shots outside the cut line, and he missed a couple of key putts in the final holes. The last one from 6 feet.
Okay, was that that's yesterday?
Yeah. So it's heading into today.
Okay, so has he teed off yet, or is it still early over there?
No, it wouldn't be early. There, how many hours?
Or late, whatever they are.
Ahead of us. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I'm just looking at some of the headlines. And like Scheffler's going to miss. That's nonsense.
That would be a huge surprise for sure.
Exactly. Okay, so the trivia question today: what is the oldest golf course in Canada? Correct.
Yep.
Okay, that's for a 4-pack to the Country Club Tour.
Any one of the 7 golf courses that they've got.
7. And I've seen some texts come in. It's not what I was thinking, but what I was thinking has a caveat to it. And I'm going to ask you in the break here, but text us the answer if you want to go golfing to one of the fine courses on the CCT. 1-833-401-1440. Brando, you got anything else? Okay, we got Bob Paley from Canada coming up next. We're golfing with the G-Man, Gary Meyer, here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. More on the way next.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Home ice advantage is real at the rink and on your windows. Novo Blinds is Edmonton's own custom manufacturer, trusted by customers around the city. Factory direct pricing with the fastest turnaround around. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
MGM Casino is coming to Alberta on July 13th with over 4,000 casino games, including exclusive slots like Game of Thrones. Sign up early and download the app to get started. Then get ready to spin July 13th. See BetMGM.com for terms. 18 plus, Alberta only. Please play responsibly. Subject to eligibility requirements.
If gambling is affecting your mental health or well-being, 211 Alberta is here to help. Call or text 211 or visit ab.211.ca. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with the Alberta iGaming Corporation. Standard message and data rates may apply.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
Wow, great hair transplant.
I want them to think,
Wow, great hair.
go to drvancelliot.com and contact us today.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
$10:21. Good morning. We continue on. We're golfing with the G-Man, Gary Meyer, in studio here. Thank you to L. Nate, who texted and said, Scheffler already missed the cut. Just shows how crazy Tiger's run was. Thank you for the update. I was just going on the TSN website. Like, what? Scheffler's going to miss?
Huh, must have been drinking the scotch.
Probably pretty good there.
I would think so.
Call that a hunch.
Hey, Mr. Paley, how are things in Kananaskis country?
Tom and Gary, how are you gentlemen doing this fine morning? Nice to see some sunshine.
You got some up there? Well, we don't got it here. It's raining again here. It was pouring this morning.
Come on, it is.
No,
Really?
it is. Yeah. Yeah. A buddy of mine sent me a note yesterday. He is in, what's the name? Eleanor Lake, which is up by Lac La Biche. He got 2 inches in an hour and a half.
Come on.
It was just roaring down. Yeah. But,
Wow.
now, what happened up
Well,
there? You guys,
not to share any misery stories, but I feel that's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. We were just under 7 inches in 18 hours.
What?
June 29th. So it was, which is awesome when you consider there's also snowpack up there, and it was similar in some ways to 2013 with just the things that led up to, like a fair amount of water before. So the water tables are all riding high, and then just an abnormal amount of rain in a short amount of time. In 2013, to put things in perspective, I think it was over 2 and a bit days. It was 330 mils, and this was 175. So it can happen, and there could be these events that happen that are completely out of our control. But happy to report that the river work done by the government during the restoration in 2015-16 is when that got done. Did an incredible job considering the volumes. There's more water in the Kananaskis River this time than there was in 2013, so that gives you some perspective to what we experienced.
wow. Now, you did have some silt here lately on the golf course?
Yes, sir. I am. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. This is the first day out of 4 in a row, I think, of not being a John Deere pulling trailer after trailer of silt away. We got some amazing contractors helping us out, and but it's hundreds of these containers or these trailer fulls of silt we're taking to our dump, and some trees and things that came with the river, and that kind of speed and pace, and it was nowhere near what happened in 2013. Having said that, it's there's still some things that happened, and we're fortunate to be open on 18, and so we're on the back of the front of Lorette and the back of Mount Kidd. And on Wednesday of next week, we'll be opening up on the front of Kidd, and then hope to get Lorette open in a short amount of time after that. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's been interesting, but like I said, I think Manitoba, us, I think there's a lot of areas that I was just on a phone call with some courses from across the world, and it sounds like they're going through a crazy drought in the southern states. And so it's interesting everywhere.
Well, it's always a challenge. Especially with the small window we have to play golf here.
Right.
Now, I wanted to ask you, when they did the drainage, they redid all of that, and that really addressed a lot of the problems there for what was going on. And now you got all this silt. How do you get it out of there? Are you drawing it out? Are you augering it out?
Yeah, great question. So it's mostly it's track hose that we're using to skim the grass. And same thing with bunkers, just being super careful of pulling back. I don't know if you've had the fortune of watching these human beings. They're like surgeons. What they're able to do in these machines is incredible, and just how adept they are at what they do. And so to be able to, to basically pull back this silt, and then what we do is we've got it's like a brush, Gary, on our Bobcat that will come through, and that will sort of lift up the silt that's kind of in the grass, if you will, like underneath where the track hose can't pull it back. And then that's the next. Then we pick that up, and then we'll aerate and top dress with sand and water it, and maybe overseed in some areas that look weak, and just hope. And that's kind of where we're at is in some areas, you can't get to everything at the same time. And we'll see what happens with time with, get grass being under silt for a certain amount of time. It can cause some challenges. So we'll keep an eye on it, but we're doing everything we can to bring the courses back. And I got to say that, they are, especially the 2 9s that are open, are looking great. And same thing with, it's basically 2 holes on the front of Kid that we're working on, and they've gotten a breath of fresh air as well, literally, by pulling that silt back. So we're just, excited to have people back. We were closed for a week, which is a whole bunch better than 5 years by my math.
Wow.
And then, like I say, 27 holes as of I think it's the 15th coming up next Wednesday, and then we'll see where it goes.
Okay. What are the fees up at Kananaskis now? I haven't been up that way for a long time. I usually park on the highway, sneak through the bush, take my club, start on 2, and then just get off the golf course
I've only
around
known
16.
you for a little while, and I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah. Well,
Well, we aren't either, Tom, and that's why we get the cameras up. We know every time that he just doesn't know that we automatically debit from his.
Yeah. Well, every time I play now, I shoot 69. It's just a matter of where I stop on the golf course. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
It won't be long before it's after 9.
Our fees are not quite as simple as they used to be. There are some different. There's a difference between the Alberta resident rate and of course our out of province guests, and that's anywhere from $50 to $80 difference that you, as an Alberta resident, you save. But our rates are anywhere from $125 up to $159. To get out and enjoy a round of golf, and it's so funny, guys. I don't know what you're like, but I swore I would never take our places for granted. I feel like I've done a good job of it from 2013, but going through everything that we've gone through over the last, call it 2 weeks, you do look at it differently. You look at it with a level of appreciation, the beauty of the area, and when you see what it was with trees and silt and that, and then when you have a team that's so focused on bringing things back, and when you see the before and after of what was accomplished just by the sheer love of the people that we get to work with over the summer, it's pretty emotional, I gotta say. And so when I say that and people come out, I think that I do, and maybe quirky to say, but I feel like people can feel that. I think they always have coming out to our place, that there is a lot of love there, and it's such a special place to be. And I think our people are a big part of that. And I really want to say, and I know you didn't ask the question, but I'm going to say it anyways. We had bartenders and servers and back of house, wonderful human beings, our pro shop, our outside hospitality, our ambassadors, everybody put up their hand to say, like, what do we need to do? And so we got people that didn't sign up for absolutely looking like they, were working in a garden and having dirt fights all day, and they just want to get their girls back and experience it in 2013. These kinds of things just galvanize a group of people. And I can tell you from 2013, there's still a large group that still keep in touch with one another because they went through something traumatic and crazy and different. And that's exactly what this was. And I just can't say enough about the quality of human beings that we've got working with us. And I can't wait to have everybody back to enjoy them before the season's done.
Well, I mean, the golf course is world class. I mean, the whole area up there is absolutely stunning.
Yep.
I know that back in 2013, I went up just after the flood, and there was a place where I stood in one of the washouts, and the irrigation pipe was 27 feet above my head.
What?
That's how it was unbelievable. It washed out. Oh, well, it was, an act of nature is just stunning how much it moves stuff there. And, but on a positive note, what about your son? I understand that he's going to get into the golf business.
Yeah, he is. He's, it sounds crazy for a dad to say he loves his kid, but I gotta he's working full on in our shop, and yes, he is going for his card, and if he's working a close shift, he comes in the morning and works for the turf team and just does whatever he can to get. He grew up out there, right? In these places. I mean, this is his home, and he's got such a huge amount of pride for Kananaskis, but also for the golf business. And I really hope that. So he hasn't had an opportunity to really work on his game for the last 3 weeks or so, but he just missed at Lacombe, and we're hopeful that we're coming up to Garrison Woods on, I think it's the 28th.
Okay.
To play an event. So we're going to play a practice round on the Friday, the 24th, but yeah, he loves it. He loves the people. He loves the area, and so yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. Well, what Bob's talking about, he's talking about his son. He's talking about his PAT, which you're playing ability test, and that's what he wants to get past. You get that, and then you finish your 5-year apprentice program, and you can then qualify for your Class A.
Nice.
So, Brian Bygrave, Wayne Bygrave, Norm Kimball, Emerald Craft, Jackie Parker. Now, were those the original guys when it first opened?
You got it. Yep. Yeah, you absolutely nailed it. You betcha.
Okay. Now, how long have you been in charge up there, Bob?
Well, I'm part of a team with Darren Robinson, our GM, and Calvin McNeely, our former superintendent. He's now retired, but we have been up. So Calvin started in 1990. Darren and I started in 98. So this is our 29th season up there together, the three of us. And man, it's like I say, it's pretty cool to see Calvin's in that Bobcat I was telling you about, helping our current superintendent out with just feedback about what he experienced in 2013. And so to have that wealth of knowledge is amazing. And, but yeah, I mean, in 2013, we all had opportunities to go elsewhere, and I don't know how to say it. Like, it's just, without sounding corny, it's our home. It's in our blood. Those four girls are our babies, and we worked hard to get them back. And we've had good support, amazing support from our partners, and doing that. And despite going through one really significant flood. Which is 1 in 500, I think they said in 2013. This one is 1 in 100, and the 1 in 05 is 1 in 50. So the way I'm looking at it is we're good until like the 3000s for another flood.
Sounds to me. 50 now, 60. How about 65? 65, better now 75, but it goes 75, now 80. Hey,
you should consider doing that for a living.
Yeah, I could do that.
Funny you say that.
Yeah, not bad. Hey, what's the situation up there as far as the animals? I know there's been some grizzly activity around. There's been a few people that were, like the guy said in Jaws, were injured. Yeah, when you got no arms, and
That's an injury, huh?
Yeah, it's only a flesh wound.
Okay.
But you got, bears, moose, elk, deer,
quotes here.
wolves, coyotes.
So we have a bear population, grizzly and black bear, that we're in their neck of the woods, and appreciate their situation. They don't have to forage through anything. The green grass is there. It's beautiful. So we'll start seeing them around the middle of April, and there's no easy way to say it. I'll be as politically correct as I can being on radio, but let's just say that they come to our place to court. There's a lot of courting that's taking place.
Yeah.
So they'll meet, do what they've got to do, and then this time of year we don't see them as much. We still see them the odd time. They're roaming around. We've got a mama bear with triplets this year.
Wow.
Which are
that's rare.
Yeah.
Is that a black bear? Or?
Where's that? In vitro, that's probably what that was. Isn't that usually what happens?
Yeah.
When they
3 blessings.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Exactly. But yeah, so they are there. The things that happened, we've got some amazing professionals that kind of help us, like our superintendent as assistants, and they're all well versed, but we've got a great relationship with the conservation officers in our area. And the bears just, they're really uninterested in us. And it's just managing that, and our starters do a good job of letting people know if there's a bear in the area, and to call in. We give them a number, and there's a system we have in place, and touch wood that so far all has been good, but they really just want to get about their day eating. How things can be that big and really all they eat is grass is beyond me.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what they do, and they're so beautiful to see, and like in the wild. Like it's I know you're on a golf course, but anyways, they're just the way they walk. They're just such a proud animal, and it's really cool. You respect them, they respect you, basically.
Yeah. Do you have bighorn sheep? Are they on that side?
We do. They're actually, most of them are there. It's a little further north in the valley.
Yeah.
And they hang out, ironically enough, by where you would expect them to hang out, the rocks and exposed rocks. So there's a rock cut there through barrier, and that is when you see humans at their absolute finest, when they're in vehicles and there's animals on the side of the road. That's where we really shine.
Yeah, don't we? Yeah.
Not sure if you can pick up that bit of sarcasm in there, but
let's park in the middle of the road, get out, take some pictures, and then if the bear comes along, let's feed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And pet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Good idea.
Exactly.
Hey,
bears don't like meatball subs.
Yeah. Well, and you've been over to where the fella has the string of horses there. He's an outfitter, and he's got
Boundary Ranch. Rick Wynn.
Yeah, Rick.
Man on a buffalo.
Yeah, he's got a bear in there. It's either a Kodiak or it's an Alaskan brown. This thing's as big as a buffalo. Huge.
Yes.
But he's got a great little wildlife museum there, and stuff to see. But it's worth just going over there and having a look. The guy's world class when it comes to outfitting.
Yeah,
and
he is one of the godfathers, and one of his family. His grandfather was one of the first to do it. Back in the early 1900s, and they're very famous in our valley. But I don't if you've ever seen it's I don't know, what do you call B grade? Not a but like a type of movie that's kind of got like a cult following, and there was a band that recently was about yeah there you go, B-lister. And he's called Man on a Buffalo, and so it was Rick in this movie, and there's some interesting things, like he does ride on a buffalo, but there were some things that happened. There was a cougar that got out, and that was part of this. And let me specify, this is like a real cougar.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you had my attention there.
Yeah, me too. I was going to run home.
Yeah.
How the heck did she get out?
Yeah, so they say wherever everybody's mind's going right now, this is a legitimate feline. I'm not doing myself any favors here.
It is the weekend
It's one that doesn't have a house. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, keep digging the hole. Keep going.
Right? I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
This cougar jumps on his back. This is not in the script. They just happen to have the cameras rolling. And the way he handles it, he's still got the scars to prove it. And he's just, when you meet that gentleman, and I know this is so not politically correct, but you call him like a man's man. This guy is a man's man.
Yeah.
And he's still a legend, and we're lucky to have him in our valley, and he's still well involved in Boundary Ranch. His family now runs it, but he and his wife Denise are still very involved. And in the museum you talk about is beautiful. I don't know, I want to say there's 20 different breeds of sheep in the world, and there's probably more. I don't know what the actual number is.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that he has, as an outfitter, he's got one of each in his museum to showcase and help educate about them. And he is easily, forget the Dos Equis guy, this guy is definitely the world's most interesting man. No question about it.
Well, and with sheep, they call it the Grand Slam, and it's 5 different, and I forget, desert, Doll, Bighorn. Boy, there's 5 anyway, but
gotcha.
I worked with APOS, Alberta Professional Outfitters Society, for a number of years, and spent some time with him, and every chance I get, I'm up there. I go over and have a look. It's just spectacular, and the man is a real professional, big time, and he's not out there killing animals. He does a whole lot more for conservation. 100%. And
you got it. Education, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and he harvests.
And he's passed that on to his son. His son is taken over that part of the business as well as an outfitter. He's one of the world's finest as well, and it's really cool to see, that family lineage, because it was, like I say, it was Rick's grandfather and his father, now Rick, and then Rick's son. So
awesome,
Jonas. So yeah, really cool.
Bob Paley's with us from Kananaskis Golf and Country Club. He's the director of golf out there. And we got a text that came in, Bob. It comes in from Chris. And I like this question because it is so beautiful up there, and it is prestigious and a jewel, really. So Chris texts in and he asks, can you ask Bob if any celebrities play out there, and have there been any recently? And, we were talking, Bob, earlier with Gary about like G7 and all the politicians coming in from all the countries, the prominent countries in the world, and how you go about handling that. But any celebrities that you can talk about coming up there to play?
Well, we've already discussed one that starts on the second hole and finishes on 17. That being Gary.
Yeah.
And he's obviously,
of course,
obviously at the top of that list.
Yeah, and when you go to the bathroom there, use my name; they'll get you a real good seat.
So we do get, we don't have a, like, I understand, if I understand right, Bryson was just at Silvertip, Bryson DeChambeau, I think.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of NHL players that will come to play at our place. We had Team Canada out here, the men's team, the ladies team, and the men's sledge team end of August last year. And so that opened the eyes to a lot of people. We've seen a number of them back this year. But, in terms of like movie celebrities or, we do get, the odd politician that comes to play, but nothing really where you'd say, we're closing the course for the day, or this person's, the prince and princess are coming. Like, we haven't had anything like that, but we get, like, over the years, people like Don Johnson's been here. Chichi Rodriguez has been here.
Chai Rodriguez.
Chai Rodriguez, correct. God bless Les Nessman.
Yep.
And there's been some, you'll get some players come out when they have the event, the Champions Tour event in Calgary in August.
Right.
We'll get some people come out for that. So yeah, I'd say golf and professional athletes more than anything else. We don't see, if there's filming in the area, like the Rock and came out and Kevin Hart, but they did that filming during the winter time. So when they did Jumanji 2 out at Fortress, and so we don't get a lot of that, but the pure golfers, like I say, Don Johnson's a big golfer, and when he's in the area and filming, he would make efforts to come out to see us and that kind of thing. Samuel L. Jackson as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Was Alice Cooper? Did Alice play up there? He must have.
Not to my knowledge, no. I know that he's. I don't know the last time he's been in Canada, if I'm being honest, in our area, anyways. I know that he's. As you know, with Lloydie down at Lucentis, he plays quite a bit down there in Mesa. But no, I haven't seen him up here.
Oh, okay. No, I know he's played in Edmonton and Calgary for sure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you worked with him as well as I did. Just as first class guy. He was the first guest we had when old what's his name, Devin Harrias, had his show here. He was the very first guest we had. And Alice Cooper, and he called us from the 14th hole at Lucentis. And talked to us for 20 minutes, and he said the guys are getting a little choked that I'm holding up play.
Oh, those guys, those celebrities, when they golf, they can do whatever they want on those courses.
Yeah, right.
The time.
He's Alice Cooper.
Yeah, no kidding. But
just imagine.
Anything else?
I just wanted to say that you're lucky to have your son involved there, Bob. Spending time with you and your work ethic. I mean, this kid is going to be a winner. There's no question. And you've set the bar incredibly high for a lot of the golf professionals that are up and coming. And you did your time. You spent your time, and you worked hard, and you were fortunate to work under some really skilled guys. And
the best.
Yeah, everybody that I know, they just think the world of going up there, and you're a first class guy, and you do a first class job. So we appreciate it.
It means a lot to me coming from you, my friend. I appreciate that so much, and I know our team does as well. And we are, at the end of the day, again, we just look around, and we're just so blessed to be where we're at. And like I said earlier, when something's taken from you, albeit briefly, it strikes home just how fortunate we are to have been where we are, and to have had the opportunity to raise our boys with my wife there for the last 30 years almost. It's we are the lucky ones, and we don't forget it, especially when we experience events like we did this last week.
Bob, thank you so much for coming on today. Obviously a jewel in our province, and fantastic. Hopefully everything gets sorted out, and everyone's swinging away at Kananaskis Country Golf Course. Director of Golf, Bob Paley. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time, and you guys always thinking of us. It means the world to all of us. Thank you.
All right, well, get your coveralls on and get out there and move that silt.
Yes, they're back to the tractor.
That's right. Okay, man. Thanks,
Awesome
Bob.
stuff. Awesome stuff there from Bob. We probably could go on with him forever, to be honest with you. The stories and the experiences and all that. And my dad would do the golf trips. I was telling you, Gary, with his buddies. I haven't had the pleasure and fortune of getting up there, but I definitely will. I mean, and just looking at the photos and hearing the stories, it looks picturesque and beautiful.
What's your golf story? I mean, do you play a lot, or
I'm a hacker? No, like when I'm playing regularly, like low 80s, sometimes I'll break 80, but
dude, that's a good golf.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't like it in the rain and cold, but I'll go out there. My uncle loves to golf, and he kind of got me hooked in. So just a regular schmuck out there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the baseball player that says he always plays in the low 80s. He said if it's any warmer than that, he stays in. If it's any colder, he goes fishing. So
I could see that. But love golf. Love talking about it. And then to have Bob have him come on, talk about it. Fantastic. We do have to take a quick break. We'll wrap up golfing with the G-Man and the Friday edition of the Tom Gazzola Show here on Sports 1440. And we'll give away those passes to Country Club Tour. A lot of right answers came in. We appreciate that. A quick break, and then we'll wrap things up right here on the Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365.
It's time to hit the greens. Elevate your golf game with Country Club Tour Golf Academy. No matter your experience, our PGA of Canada teaching pros are here to help. Enjoy lessons year-round between our 7 CCT golf courses and 2 state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Choose the location convenient for you. We offer private lessons, group lessons, expert club fittings, and junior camps. Visit our website to learn more and get ready to take your game to the next level. Booking is easy. Go to countryclubtour.com/golf academy and schedule your lesson today.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything.
You can't just wear it.
I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
The Tom Gazzola Show on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Presented by Bet365. Alberta, we are here to stay.
That one's my request to wrap up the week, the first week of the Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365 here on Sports 1440. Looking forward to a bright future on the station and this show, and I feel like we're off to a very, very strong start. And thank you to everybody that has been along for the ride. Maybe you're just hopping on. Maybe you just are starting to get to know me, and looking forward to having a lot of fun. A big thank you to Brandon Douglas, Josh Fenwick, the entire crew here, Gregor, Lowtie, Declan, Donovan, Marty Stevens. Like, everybody's been fantastic. Gary Meyer, we're golfing with the G-Man to wrap up the week as well. Absolutely tremendous. And can't say enough about how good this has been and how warm the reception has been. And hopefully we keep you entertained, whether you like me or not, because not everyone's going to like you. Hopefully we give you a bit of a breather on your way into work, or entertain you a little bit, get you out of the doldrums of the day-to-day grind. So
No,
thank you.
You're a true professional. The only guy that has kind of been a downer is at Cam Tate. I'm going to go out and slap him
battle is
around.
real
He's here.
between you
He's
two.
hiding here somewhere, isn't he?
He pops in, I hear.
Yeah, I'll pop him.
Gary.
Just remember, Tate, I'm after you. Both me and Bill Penny will pound you out.
Uh-oh, that's a threat.
Yeah,
Well,
there you go.
There you go.
Okay, let's give away those
Let's
passes.
do it, G-Man. What do we got, Brando? We got it all sorted out, because there's some details to this too you want to mention.
I wanted just to clarify, because we got an email from last week's winner, and it's all on me. I apologize, because I kind of flying by the seat of our pants with the transition week and then getting into it. So it's to the CCT. It's 4 passes. I believe it's just to 4 of the courses. I can't confirm right now which 4 it is, but I believe they're the ones in the city here for sure. And then obviously we know there's the one Montgomery Glen down in Wetaskiwin, Whitetail Landing out in Mundare, and then Redtail, the course or the airport, and Gibbons with Goose Hummock. So those are kind of the outside the city ones. We'll get clarification. We picked our winner. It was Lori Ann today.
Congrats.
And the correct answer, Gary, was
the Royal Montreal Golf Club in 1873.
Wow.
Now, I was really surprised when I looked here that I always thought that the Edmonton Country Club was second. But they're actually tied for 18th in 1896. But tied for 7th is the Fort McLeod Golf Course.
Really?
Yeah. And that, if you remember, Fort McLeod that was one of the first RCMP, Northwest Mounted Police outposts. Yeah.
They shot Ghostbusters there, Afterlife. I love Ghostbusters. You'll learn that about
me,
Gary.
Really?
Anyway, but I didn't know the golf tie-in's cool. And it's a neat city or town to pass through.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Stop in.
Yeah. A lot of history there. A ton of history.
And remember, you were talking about this, and we put the trivia question out there earlier in the show. And I said, I had a question for you. And it was, where does Victoria Golf Course, the one in the heart of Edmonton, like rank? Because there was always this talk about it. It had a connotation as a historic course. But where does it sit? Like how old is it?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Is it like the oldest public course in Canada, or
no?
Or is that something that
it's one of the oldest public golf courses? But I'd have to look because people get it mixed up. The Victoria Golf Club in Victoria,
actual Victoria,
yeah, it was 1893, and that puts them 12th. But I'm trying to remember now. I said the name of the golf course before. That used to be on up top. It was on Hudson Bay land up there, and but that goes way back. But yeah, you have to, I guess, Google Victoria Golf Club Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
But it does go back a long, long ways there. Kevin Hogan would know. Well, you know what? We're going to talk to Kevin in the next little bit. I'd like to get Brad Ewart on. Brad is the father of AJ Ewart, who is playing the PGA Tour now and doing extremely well. He's a BC boy, and so is his dad. And a couple other guys out that way. Hal Quinn, who was a writer for Score Magazine, also Golf Magazine, and he's got a magazine out there now called Fairways. He's really interesting. So,
Gary,
lots of guys to talk to.
And we will. We survived our first golfing with the GMAT together. It's a pleasure, sir. I look forward to next week. Awesome stuff. Great week. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. The Tom Gazzola Show, presented by Bet365. First week in the books. More starting on Monday, obviously. Thank you, Gary, for coming in. Appreciate it.
You're better than old, what's his name? I never forget old, what's his name.
Time to get to a sports update brought to you by Sean Cunningham of RE/MAX Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. Here's Brandon. Have a great week, everyone.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
World Cup quarterfinals continuing this afternoon with Spain taking on Belgium from SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, getting underway at 1 o'clock. And Week 6 in the CFL continuing tonight as well. Blue Bombers hosting the Toronto Argonauts. Kickoff at 6:30 from the Peg. Newly acquired Drew Brown starting under center for the Bombers. In the majors today, full slate of games, including the Blue Jays back at it. They open a set in San Diego against the Padres. Shane Bieber set to take the hill for the Bluebirds. JP Sears countering for the Friars. First pitch coming 7:40 Mountain. You catch that game right here on Sports 1440. WCL action tonight from RE/MAX Field. The Riverhawks welcome in the Marion Berries for the first time in franchise history. First pitch just after 7:05. Coming up on Sports 1440, it is Fantasy Frenzy with guest host Donovan Paulson. I'm Brandon Douglas at your Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West